Okay, welcome everybody. This is gonna be a tutorial on Cuphead, and more in specific for the category whose full name is All Bosses Regular Legacy. All it really means is just go through the game by beating all the bosses, aka accepting the Devil's Deal. And it's also gonna be unpatched, meaning we'll see 1.0 version, the release version, so we'll have access to all possible glitches. First thing you wanna do is if you have a monitor with a refresh rate of more than 60 Hz, you want to disable VSync because well, it's forbidden by speedrunning rules because it creates time inconsistencies. In some cases, that's actually even slower to have VSync, so just disable it. Trust me. So start a fresh file. This is where time starts. And then you want to skip this intro. Just press start. That's all you wanna. That's all you wanna do. And right here you can pause right before talking to the elder cattle. You want to pause before talking to him and then exit the map. So on this menu you wait a little bit of time, you press up and just press A and you leave, so you don't have to sit through that dialogue. You want to exit the map before talking to the elder cattle, not while he's in the middle of a dialogue though, because if you do that you will get text storage, which it's actually pretty bad. It can set up into some Softlock, so don't do that. Just before you talk to him, you press start and you exit the map, and you'll be here. So you can make your way over to this guy, and he gave you 3 coins. So just mash. And the reason why we need this coins is you want to actually get 2 weapons that are gonna melt through the bosses thanks to a 1.0 exclusive glitch, which basically lets us take advantage of 2 weapons at the same time. More on that later. Also, if you see on the top left, I am playing on a practice mod. This is just some info exclusive to this mod that I'm using just for showcase purposes. And then once I actually start the level, you'll see a health bar, which is gonna be pretty useful. Okay, so the first thing you wanna do to get these 2 weapons, I have 3 coins right now. Can I toggle this? I believe it's F2, no, F1. Okay, yeah. So 3 coins. I wanna take 5 more, and that will give me 8 coins, which is exactly as much as I need to buy the 2 weapons. So you want to do this running. It's the closest and it's also the fastest in one. Collect all the coins and you'll have exactly as many coins as you need. And for each single stage I'll go through it at least a couple times usually, just to show a beginner way of doing it and the most advanced way of doing it, so I can cover both. So first thing you want to do, you want to hold B shooter for the entire stage. So oh, by the way, my controls are not standard, so this is my shoot button. Just keep that in mind. I'll have my controls down in the description or something. But yeah, this is my shoot button. Keep that in mind. You want to hold down the shoot button for the entire stage, because yeah, a lot of these guys just die in one hit. Just hold this, and a lot of enemies will not be a problem. Oh yeah, that's the advanced way. I want to show the beginner's way. So you can dash as much as possible. For this first coin, the safe way to do it is just ride this platform and just take the coin. You can keep going through the stage. You can take this pretty slow if you want to. If you don't know this stage very well, just stop, shoot things, stop and kill all the enemies. Dash if you know you have a bit of a clearing. Keep going. For this coin, you want to parry this thing. Also, make sure an acorn isn't in the way, or it'll kill your elevation. You have to dash to clear this gap without taking damage. And right here, you dash over this gap and you kill this acorn weaker. For the advanced way, we're gonna find a way to skip this. You can take it safe from these plants if you want to. Make sure that blue guy is defeated though. Once both plants go, you can go there. And there you go, that's the stage. Easy peasy. And then, again, I'm gonna go through this again and show you the more advanced way of going through this. Okay, so here's a bit of a more detailed explanation of the stage. So the first thing is that there's an advanced technique for dashing. If you just try mashing dash button here on the ground, or even just timing it, doesn't make any difference. You'll see that there's a bit of cooldown in between each dash. And there's a way to circumvent this by simply jump cancelling them. So you can basically just jump cancel this end period There's actually quite a bit of a window to buffer this. It's not precise at all. And right after you jump, your cooldown just gets reset, so you can dash again immediately, like that, as opposed to see. And it basically will allow you to fit in more dashes in places where you will only be able to fit in less. So this beginning here, for example, if I just run like this, I'll do 6 dashes, and then when I do the 7th, I will bonk into this trunk a bit. So again, one more time, 4, 5, 6, and when I do the 7th, I'll just bonk. But if I do the jump cancels, 4, 5, 6, 7, no bonking on this stump. So yeah, that's a time save right there, and there's another spot later on in this level where it ends up being really useful. Yeah, as far as the stage itself, I will actually play a perfect run of this stage just to show you, because really all this really is memorizing all the spots where you need to dash. There is a bit of RNG in this stage, and I will go over some of the things to watch out for. But other than that, it really just is about watching how the stage is playing and memorizing. There's not too much to explain. So yeah, here it is. Okay, so sometimes you'll get a flower right there on this ledge. And if you're lucky and he's at the very edge of this stalling, you can actually just hug the wall and just clip right past it, and it will be no problem. But if he's in a worse position, then there's nothing you can do. You actually have to like stop and shoot up and then go, or just wait until he actually reaches the ledge and just go. Okay, so for this Blues Lambo, the way you want to deal with him is when you're jumping on top of this trunk, you want to hope that during this jump, some of the pea-shooter shots actually hit him, like that. If they do not, which will happen, before doing the second dash on top of this trunk, you want to duck for a split second and then go, which will ensure that this line does collapse. See if I can get a good example. Like that, basically. And yeah, dashing does reduce your hitbox a bit. That's how you can get past this this pink ball. Like this. It's the same hitbox as if you were ducking. Because normally, if you just stand straight up from this right below the pink ball, it will hit you. But dashing will shrink your hitbox enough. Okay, so actually during this entire stage, there is an important global timer you want to meet, and it's right on this pink ball to do the parry skip. So it's basically collecting this coin without parrying, which is pretty easy. You just need to do a full jump, and then right at the end of this full jump, you just walk forward towards this pink ball, and you get damage boosted, and you get a coin. And the reason why skipping this parry is important is because of the result screen, because there's a section that counts how many parries you've gotten, and if you don't have any parries, it'll just skip the section, and effectively just saves 0.8 seconds of time on the result screen. So yeah, it's a global timer, meaning the position of this ball is always consistent at the start of the stage. So assuming you get to this part at the same exact pace every time, you will also always have this ball at the same position every time. Every ball in the stage, actually. As well as all the blue slime balls. So yeah, that's all you need to do to know really to do this. Just do the stage the same way every time, and you will be able to get parry skip the same way every time. Otherwise, just parry. And the last thing I'm going to explain about the stage is the ledge clip right here. As you might have seen from earlier, you're just able to clip right on the edge right there, and basically skip finding this acorn maker. This saves 4 seconds, it's frame perfect, and the thing I can only really recommend doing is just to practice it a lot. I have this practice mod right here, which includes an invincibility cheat. All you have to do is start a stage and then just press 9 on the keyboard, which will enable invincibility for the rest of the stage. So what you can do is get on this ledge, and the way why not do it, by the way, is you'll be right at the end of the dash, usually here, the optimal route. So just hold right as you fall down this ledge, and then at the frame perfect timing, just press Y, and you should be able to clip right through. And so yeah, with this practice mod with invisibility, all you can do is all you have to do to get back up and retry is fall in this pit and just get boosted up, and you can retry as many times as you want until you're confident. Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's all about the stage really. This is probably one of the most important parts about the stage if you're looking to be advanced. It's not a huge time loss to just destroy the acorn maker, so what I will suggest doing is, if you're at least somewhat confident with this, is try it, and then if you don't get the ledge clip, maybe you're early and you dash above the ledge, or you're late and you bonk on the ledge, you can just go ahead and destroy the acorn maker. Actually, if you bonk against this ledge, you can actually retry on the way up. So, you know, if you want the clip at all costs, you have the option. Like that. Okay, that's all I needed to explain about the stage. Next. Okay, so once you finish the stage, you'll see that you have 8 coins now, which is exactly how much you need to buy the weapons. Just go to the shop, and we will be buying the roundabout weapon and the lobber. So, first, what I would suggest doing to buy these weapons, there is a glitch in the shop where you press A and B at the same time on the controller, and you will be able to basically buy a weapon at the same time and leave. So what you want to do is, while the shop is loading, is you want to mash right on the D-pad like this, and then once you reach the weapon, you just press A and B and just buy and leave. And you can also buy the second weapon while you're leaving the shop. So this is how it's done. And then while you're leaving the roundabout, you get the lobber. Second thing is you can actually pull up this equip card before you actually get the dialog box. So just mash Y, and while you got this dialog box in the background, you can actually equip your weapons. So the way I recommend doing this is press A on your first weapon slot, the one with the pea shooter. We won't be using the pea shooter anymore. And this is just a sequence of inputs you have to memorize, because as you can see, you won't have much visibility. But yeah, just press A to go to your first weapon, then press down and A to equip Lobber. I like having Lobber as my primary weapon. Then you press RB, and this will be your secondary weapon now that you're changing. And then you press right twice, down once, and you press A to equip roundabout. That's all you need. Press B, mash Y to get rid of this menu, and then you wanna wait like half a second before finally closing down the menu, because otherwise, if you're too fast pressing Y, it will pull back up by itself. So you want to wait that half a second, and then you just want to make your way down to the root back. First boss, here we go. Okay, first boss. First of all, in the top left corner, I have a health bar. It's part of the mod I'm using. I decided to enable it. And second of all, this is where you start to see the effects of probably the most important glitch on the entire run. There's more of an exploit, and it's this. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm shooting, and while I'm shooting, I'm also mashing the weapon swap button, and that basically makes me allows me to take use of both weapons at the same time. So basically, while you swap to your secondary weapon, the cooldown for your first weapon is still going down in the background. So as soon as you swap to it, you'll have your bullet available probably. So yeah, what you do is you shoot and you just mash the weapon swap button. You basically just swap between the two weapons and you basically take advantage of both of them. So yeah, you can get really fast kills on bosses. You don't want to mesh as fast as you can. The optimal meshing speed for this weapon combo is between 7 and 8 meshes, so it's not something that you have to get used for long. That will take long to get used to at least. It doesn't require any hard meshing. It's more of a rhythm. The potato goes down really quickly. You just shoot, weapon swap, and just jump above the dirt pellets, and that's it. For the onion, you want to prepare bullets beforehand that will hit it before it spawns. So I'll show you again. So like this, the potato is really easy, really simple. So yeah, you just, especially the lobbers, they stay on screen and bounce. And basically once the onion spawns, you move to the left, and all the bullets that you generated you will hit. If you have supers, if you have any X's ready, the cards in the bottom left, just use them. And you want to also keep meshing the weapon swap button while that is going on. The carrot too, you just aim up, shoot, weapon swap, and jump if you can, and basically you kill it in no time. And that's it. That's it. As far as the basics, right? There's actually a couple of advanced techniques you can do on the root pack to make this faster, and I'll show them right now. Okay, so the first thing is this potato actually has a small period of invisibility at the start of the fight. This is the only boss who has this in the entire game, I believe, where he is just invincible for a small period at the beginning. But yeah, look at the health bar in the top left. Even though he's flashing, indicating that he took damage, he's actually not taking damage. He's sitting at 1235, and even after I've hit a few bullets, it's still sitting at 1235. So the way you want to take advantage of this knowledge is, right at the start of the fight, you face left, switch to roundabout, shoot 3 shots, and then after that point, you face right and shoot them down. So that makes the fight a little bit faster, because those roundabout shots basically just swing back and hit him way after the invincibility period is over. And the second thing, this involves another really big glitch present in the game, and that involves the Lobber axes, these guys. So if you hit a boss directly with a Lobber axe, I'll give myself a few cards. If you hit a boss directly with it, it'll deal 28 HP of damage. So the health bar went down from 1235 to 1207. But instead of hitting the boss, I hit the ground. I'll wait till these dirt balls are done. There you go, boom. 1179. That dealt 56 HP. So that Lobber X hits twice. Basically, for whatever reason, if instead of hitting an entity, you hit a floor, that Lobber X hits twice. And even better, I don't. It is gonna be hard to get, but if you do it in a very precise position between the ground. Oh, nice! I like to root back. I'll give myself invisibility. Between the ground and an entity. This is a pretty good position. It looks like. Yeah, awesome. So that went down to 1151. That dealt 84 HP, so that is triple damage. We speculate that it's getting the double damage from the ground hit, as well as a single damage from the boss hit. So that's why it's dealing triple damage. The way you can use this is by manipulating a Lobber X right here. There you go. So that is about the fastest you can kill the potato. The way I manipulate the Lobber X is I count my weapon swaps. This is why I consider it more of a rhythm than an actual meshing. Because basically, it's not just a mindless mesh. I'm doing that in at a specific speed, but especially I'm counting them, because I'm starting from roundabout, and then I basically just make sure that I swap an even amount of times, so I'll count them. And I'll stop right there, and it's always gonna be roundabout, the same weapon I started with. And then once I do the EX input, I'll do the EX move, and then weapon swap 3 more times before the EX move actually comes out, which means I'll actually get a Lobber. There you go. That's how I manipulate the Lobber. There's multiple techniques, but that is pretty much the optimal way to get a Lobber shot. One more time, there you go. And if you're precise, you can actually hit the triple shot. And yeah, if you cannot do that, it's pretty hard. This one takes some serious practice. But yeah, if you cannot do that, just don't worry. Just use your EX move this way and just move on. You can still get a time of below 24 minutes without even touching this Lobber technique. So it's important for top level, but if you're not looking to be that advanced, then just forget this glitch. But it is technically... Sorry, I have to focus for this. It is technically the most optimal way to pull up this. This trap has a bit of optimization too, because the Lobber shot, so it basically bounces on the ground 2 times before it dissipates. So to take advantage of that, you want to give it a higher bounce. So this, see this higher bounce? It's basically gonna stay on screen longer than this. So the one on the right has a higher bounce, and even though I shot it earlier, it dissipated later than the one shot down low. So in order to do an optimal track on the onion, there you go. I want to make sure that I only hold shoot on this Lobber at the peak of my jump, and then right before the onion spawns, I go ham on the weapon swap button. And just hold shoot the entire way. So like this, right before the potato disappears, I just shoot the entire way through. And then, once the onion appears, I go for more Lobber EXs. So here, now I shoot. Dash left, and shoot both cards, and that's another quick kill. In Carrot, there's not much optimization, just keep jumping, use the X's while landing if possible. And that's the fight. So yeah, of course all the advanced techniques are a lot to take in, and I do not recommend people just learning the game to use them, because they are very complicated and they require a lot of mental effort to get down. So honestly, just especially the Lobber EX, everything revolving around the Lobber EX, just forget it. Don't even bother, and only when you've already run the game for long enough, just consider them. So yeah, moving on to the next boss. This is Ribby and Croaks, and this might be when you start getting your first addicts, because these guys, they have a bunch of patterns that you have to get down, and we'll go through them. Okay, so first of all, in phase 1, they have 2 things they can do. You can either have Ribby is the green frog, and Croaks is the brown one. You can either have Ribby start off the fight with his punches, his Hadokens, whatever you want to call them, or you can have Croaks start off with his flies, and depending on what you get, you want to do different things. So let's see what I get here. Well, I have to be shooting. There you go, punches. The way you want to go through this, if you're just starting out, just dodge these. You want to jump above the punches on the bottom and just duck above the rest. Shoot the X's when you have them. You'll get a 1 cycle, you'll get a roll for phase 2, Use your reactions as you have them, and you should get you should be able to skip this too. Now, all damage from now is useless. You see the health bar at 567. It's not moving from there because they basically just stop taking damage as soon as they reach that point. I believe it's 570. No, 578. I believe is the cutoff. So yeah, if you have a bullet that will bleed basically over damage that threshold, they will go through, but any subsequent bullets will stop. And you basically have to go through this final phase to keep doing damage. For flies, same thing. You wanna go through them, take care of the flies. If you're comfortable, the best thing to do is to actually approach them and basically just get at their feet and duck. If I can get the flies, hopefully. Same thing for punches, if you're not looking to do anything more advanced. But yeah, because this basically will hit both the frogs. Now, at the start of phase 1, this brown frog is actually invincible. Same thing as the potato, but this one is invincible up until you deal... up until you get their health down to a specific range. I believe it's 1294 that this brown frog starts taking damage, because that's the threshold for phase 2 to start. But other than that, the brown frog is invincible, and so it won't actually take damage. But you are hitting both frogs, so you're getting double the card. And once you get the threshold, you will actually start dealing double damage. So the optimal way is to actually just get close, turn back to kill the flies when needed, use the axes when you have them, and you should be able to also escape phase 2. And the flies pattern at this point is optimal. Or if you're not comfortable, just stand back, take care of the flies, and just go through phase 2 if you have to. So you'll get 2 coins from this guy, from the slot machine. You parry the punch as soon as it comes down, and then you get 1 of 3 possible patterns on final phase. I'll go through all 3 of them, show you what you probably want to do for each of them. So frogs, you want to prepare a roundabout trap. So you basically just start shooting roundabouts on the to the left, so that they basically swing back to the right, and then you turn right to face them, and you hop on these platforms. I like to hop on them by 2, and then once they get faster, I do them 3 by 3, and that's the fight basically. But yeah, the hard part about this fight is not the fight per se, but all the possibilities. Because you have 2 possible patterns in phase 1, as well as 3 possible patterns in final phase. Not to mention all the small variances, like the amount of flies they shoot, Croaks will shoot rather, as well as the direction of the flames in one of the 3 patterns for final phase. Okay, I'll just cut to some more of the final phase patterns. Okay, bulls. You want to watch where the flame is, and just keep shooting them. Go up and down where you need them, where you need to. And then if you do it for long enough, you should be able to kill them. So stand at your distance. You have quite a bit of range with your weapons, so you don't need to be very close. So you have quite a bit of time to just see those flames coming. They are random though, so you need to play in your reactions. Okay, there you go. Tigers. This is the pattern that easily gives people the most trouble. If you don't feel comfortable with this method, then play it safe from far away and go for a 2 cycle on the final phase. But give this a shot, because this is the most optimal way to go through this, at least without going through the Lobber glitch. So as soon as the first cylinder spawns, you get on top of it, and then you jump EX, use an EX move to land on top of the next one, and you do this basically over and over. Once they start to get faster, and basically closer to each other. You might even not need to use the X move anymore to reach the second one, the next one. Just a jump will do. So this is about how you do it. I'm not gonna shoot. I'm just gonna use the X move to stall, like this. And basically now you can just jump like this. So basically just walk on those cylinders, and you basically go below the balls, and you should be safe as long as you do your movement correctly. There we go, I got lucky. Otherwise, the safe way to go about it is to just do it from far away, like this. But this will basically make a one cycle very hard. Okay, and now for the extremely difficult advanced techniques. The advanced techniques make this fight one of the hardest fights in the run, no joke. So the thing that changes about the advanced techniques is the opening, and then what do you do if you get punches. Because for flies, the best thing you can do is still just get flies, get the roll, have Ribby go to the left, and then you skip phase 2. That's the best thing you can do. But for punches, there's something better. There you go. And then I'm gonna show you what this looks like. But this is one of the last things I'd implement in a run, because it saves quite a bit of time, but is very, very hard and extremely specific in the kind of inputs you will need to do. So here it goes. There we go. That is called the super skip, and it basically skips not only phase 2 but also the phase 2 transition. Yeah, Ribby doing the roll. And again, since their health gets capped at 570, well, at that about that amount basically, up until you start this final phase. This is a cycle-based fight. It doesn't matter how much damage you're dishing out unless you can skip animations, you can skip cycles basically. So that right there, it doesn't just save a little bit of time. It saves about 8 seconds basically from a fight that gets punches plus the roll animation, because that's how long that roll animation takes, which is what you're skipping. So in order to do that, it is basically nearly mandatory that you manipulate Lobber EXs on every single one of your EX moves, and you try to hit for double damage your first Lobbers, and then at a very specific point, you walk right into them, which will deal double damage, and then you get the final 2 Lobber EXs. So yeah, that's how you do it. I have a very specific weapon combo, button combo that I use. I'll put it down in the description somewhere, but it might not be of use for you if you're looking to implement this trick. Basically, just look for your specific weapon combo. If you are far enough into the run where you are trying to learn the skip, then I expect that you at least are comfortable with the entire rest of the game before you go attempting this. If you're just learning how to go through Ribby Croaks, just do not even dare attempting this trick. This one, so far, there is only 2 people who can do this remotely with any consistency. One of them being me. So I'm putting this out there. You can do this. You need Lobber EXs on basically every single EX move that you use, and you need to do the fight in a very specific way. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna put my my button combo down in the description. So yeah, you change this opener, by the way, for the advanced strats. You do this regardless of the pattern you get. So if you get flies, since you don't deal double damage on the frogs anyway, it doesn't really matter if you go up close right off the bat. I take 1 damage sometimes when needed, because it doesn't really matter. So yeah, you cannot do better than this. You cannot do better than doing flies into the roll animation. And I say this in hope that me saying it will inevitably make this tutorial obsolete, because we're hopefully gonna find a way to also do super skip with flies, which will be super crazy. But yeah, that's Ribby and Croaks. Oh yeah, also for final phase, another thing. I'm gonna cut to final phase. Okay, so basically if you wanna implement the Lobber X glitch here into final phase, you stand right here. There's a visual cue here on the floor paneling that you can basically use as the perfect spot to stand on. If you stand, I think a little farther right than this, just like a visual pixel or something, not much, that is the perfect spot for a triple damage Lobber X. And Warbles is actually a better one, because that basically allows you to go for Lobber X's over and over. While the other ones, you can get 2 of them with frogs. And you can only get 1 of them with tigers, because you have to go on the platform straight away, basically. I'll show you what it looks like for the other 2, and then gonna move on to Goopy. Oh yeah, by the way, on this phase transition you can stand right here, there's not a hitbox. It's not that precise of a spot even. Okay, so for frogs, or actually it's called the snakes. Those are the snakes. We thought were frogs for the longest time. But yeah, you can get Lobber X as an opener in that fashion, basically. And then for tigers, okay, you use 1 and then you have to get on the platform right away. So that's how you do it, basically. So yeah, I believe that's all the major patterns, so ready to move on to Goopy Le Grande. That's the next boss in the route. Okay, so after Ribby and Croaks, you want to make your way back up and basically go to the northern part of Inkwell Isle 1 and fight Goopy Le Grande right here. This guy is pretty straightforward, there's not much to this fight. You want to open up with a dash, which I missed. But yeah, open up with a dash and just keep following them. You can lock to stand in place and aim up if you need to. Sometimes you'll do an attack, sometimes you won't. Just use EXs when you have them. Sometimes you'll get no attacks in phase 2. You get the gravestone, just kill it, boom. This is probably the simplest, most straightforward fight in the run. Assuming you're not going for the Lobber glitch, and I'll show you the Lobber glitch strats right now. So spoiler alert, they're pretty specific. So you open up with a dash as usual. I like to basically when Goopy's face is jumping away from you, I like to just keep shooting straight horizontally, basically in the same direction he's facing. Not even bother chasing him, because all the lobbers and roundabout will hit anyway. But when he's jumping above me, I will actually jump myself and try to follow him up. Like that, kind of. You can actually just like, do a fight where you don't miss any single bullet. Like now. So yeah, once if you deal enough damage, you'll always get the phase transition in that position every time, without any randomness. The only randomness is the delay. Sometimes you'll do a longer delay, but you can react to it. So right here, you want to damage boost into him, and just dash as soon as you exit right through him. And the reason why you want to dash away from him is to get these lobbers off. Which, those are not lobbers. But yeah, you go for double damage lobber EXs. There you go. Yeah, you can even kill Goopy before the tombstone even comes crashing down. This fight can be that quick. And I don't go for all the lobber EXs straight away because there's an additional tech on the phase 2's transition. Basically, as soon as that animation is done of Goopy growing up into a big boy, basically as soon as he ones up for the first jump, the game basically does a bit of hitbox teleporting. Long story short, you can hit the first hitbox of Goopy growing up, and then with the splash damage of Lobber, you can hit him again for a total of 4 times as much damage as a normal reactions will do. That timing is about correct. It's a pretty tight window, so I don't recommend going for this if you're not comfortable, but if you are at the point where you're going for Lobber reactions, you probably are at least comfortable with the game's basic mechanics, so give it a shot. I will not discourage you from doing so, assuming you are already using Lobber reactions in a lot of places in the run already. So yeah, pretty simple boss otherwise. Really simple boss otherwise. So defeating Goopy will unlock the staircase. You can go up onto the sledge, and you have to go through this plane tutorial first. So this will be the first plane stage of the run. Right here you can pause and exit to map because who cares? So yeah, they'll unlock this bridge, and you can go fight Hilda Berg. This fight is as difficult as you want it to be. Like all fights in the run, but this one especially, because it can be a pretty simple, straightforward fight, a pretty easy one too, or it can be one of the hardest, most reset heavy fights in the run. And that is a lot due to a 1.0 exclusive glitch called the Hilda glitch, and yes, we are not very original with names, but it's basically a glitch where Hilda can get frozen in one of her face transformation and until the end of the fight, and what that does is it skips an invincibility period and it saves around 7 seconds. So I'm gonna first show the fight without it and without going for any risky strat. Then I'm gonna add some intermediate strat, and then I'm gonna show you the 2 main ways to go for the Hilda glitch. So here it goes. So first thing is, since Hilda goes up and down, you just kind of try to follow her around. You'll get the hang of this eventually. So she'll do the ram, just dodge it, and go right in front of her as soon as she's done. Disappearable bullet every time. As soon as you have the nuke, you can use it. You get a nuke once you have 5 cards. Tornado, you can just dodge it below. Usually below is the smartest idea. So you just dodge the ram and go right back at it. These stars, try to destroy at least one when you get them. Or don't. This game is very dependent on the circumstances. You basically need to play the game a lot and know what the best option is for every circumstance. This is the phase transition where she's invincible. Final phase, using plain EXs in this phase is very useful. These UFOs are color coded. I'll stop shooting. The red ones, they basically shoot on proximity. Or no, the opposite. The red ones basically shoot when they're right on top of you, while the green and brown, the yellow and brown ones they shoot on proximity. So for the red ones, you want to go past them. The yellow and brown ones, you want to let them shoot first, and only then go past them. So these ones, you cannot get past them. On the red ones, you do not want to let them get above you and stay above you. You just want to get through them and get past them. So yeah, just shoot her. Use the plane axes. Don't collect any nuke if you can avoid, because this is a very good spot to use plane axes. It will do a lot of extra damage. But that's the fight. It is a pretty simple, straightforward fight if you're not looking to do any of the more advanced, complicated strats, which I will be going over right now. Okay, so the main thing you want to look into introducing once you're more comfortable around this fight is damage boosting. On this rem, you take the hit and then use a Plane X move. What that does is it basically lets that Plane X gradually hit Hilda as she's backtracking. This hits for a lot of hits. I think usually 10 at most, unless it also does an additional tick of damage thanks to one of these mini blimps. And that is a lot of damage. I believe that is 150 HP of damage just with one card. So that saves a bunch of seconds just with one damage boost. And since she does this rem a total of 2 times in the fight, that means you can choose to do this once, or if you're really comfortable with the fight already, you can do this twice. And basically just do the fight hitless. That's what it entails. If you can avoid it, don't use nukes in the fight, because one, it can basically set up into, I guess at this point it's fine, but it can set up into you not having a super card available for the second rem. So keep wasting or using super cards before you reach 5 cards. Otherwise, you'll use a nuke, and then next thing you know is she's ramming to the left, and you don't have a card available at that point in time. On this final phase, you can do clips onto the UFOs if you shoot basically the Plane X at a timing when the previous UFO has reached this top of the stage, and you are basically right up against her pupil at a specific distance. You can basically clip that Plane X in between Hilda herself and the UFO, and it will deal extra damage. It's pretty specific, but it's not too bad once you get the hang of it, and you can basically take extra times for extra damage. But that doesn't matter if you do the Hilda glitch, because you can basically skip final phase, and this is what will get you the most headaches probably in the entire run. Getting this glitch down, it is very, very, very hard to acquire consistency in this glitch, and especially if you're going for the faster version of the two. I'll show you the more consistent setup, and then I'll show you the technically faster setup that is absolutely stupid, and only if you are really looking for an amazing time you should really consider. Okay, so you need to do this in a pretty specific way. Follow her around, miss as few bullets as possible, because they can make the difference between a glitch or not. That damage boost is basically mandatory. This spirit is very important, so take it and dodge the attack from Tauros. So in this sec form, in this second blimp form, you're usually aiming for a 2-cycle, and at this one you will almost have a nuke, which is gonna make the glitch easier. So get the first attack. If it's a ha, like in this case, you collect the nuke, and right as you have 5 cards, you use it and you ram against her. Right after or shortly before she does the second attack, you will have a card right before, or available right before she does the second ram. You don't want to go over this amount of cards usually. Because if you have more, you will over damage and basically just do a regular face skip. This is about the perfect amount. So let her ram into you, do the damage boost into the Planiacs, and voila. This is about a 20 HP window to do this. So it's about 5 bullets of leniency. And she will basically just be stuck in this phase until the end of the fight. So that skips the invulnerability period that she will normally have right before the moon. And that's it. You can finish the fight in under a minute with this method. If you're interested in more details about this method, I have a video that's very old, but explains everything you need to know about this fight, or rather this method of getting the Hilda glitch. Everything you need to keep track of to improve the consistency, to make the glitch work on more patterns, and I'll link it in the video description as usual, as everything else. But that is not technically the fastest way to get the glitch anymore, because there's nukeless threats now. You can get the Hilda glitch without nukes on every single pattern, and boy, they're hard. Let's get into them. So phase 1, exactly the same. Just follow her around, don't miss bullets, whatever. Changes here in Tauros, because you want to use a Planiacs right here and get the most amount of hits you can. So basically, as she's to the left, going to the right, and you want to also take the parry in the meantime. So that introduces a bit of randomness, because that mini blimp that shoots the variable can sometimes decide to get in front of the Planiacs, and it will just get killed. It will make some patterns impossible. Then here you need to do different things. Ha into Ha, you use 3 Planiacs axes, make sure they hit for 4 ticks, and this is not gonna do it, unfortunately. But if I did just a little bit more damage, that could have gotten the glitch. And it's about a full second faster than the nuke method, if you compare best pattern to best pattern. On average, if you get the glitch on both patterns, the nukeless threats will be better. But they're also harder. And so sometimes there's patterns where it's just really hard to get the glitch to work. So I'm gonna try and show all 3 patterns that you can get in the second blade transformation phase. Because they're actually all pretty different between each other, the things you have to do. Okay, so I think I actually missed the damage tick there. It's actually gonna be pretty hard to make work. There's a ha-ha again. See if I can actually get the glitch now, show it off. Yeah, this will work. Perfect. Yeah, this is the exact same, except I didn't use a nuke. So didn't have to go through the nuke activation animation, which uses up a second and also is more optimal just by damage. So actual next patterns. Okay, so this is Laughing Tornado. You want to collect a little more than 4 cards. Right here, there's actually too much. So I'll stand further away. There you go, that's a glitch. Okay, so this is Tornado lead. You want to get about 3 cards and a half. And then just start shooting these 3 Planiacs right here. This pattern is the hardest to get the glitch with. It's actually pretty finicky. I'm not gonna get it here. But yeah, you can technically get it like that. Very rarely you can even get it on a 1 cycle. But that's how you go about it. Like with the nuke method, there's multiple things in the fight that you have to keep track of, like the amount of mini blimps you've shot down, the amount of times a Planiacs will have ticked previously in the fight, which will change the amount of super cards you need to collect to get the glitch. So it will change basically your visual cues, but basically, yeah, keep track of that and change your visual cue accordingly. That's all I can suggest for the fight. Just good luck. Keep playing the fight, experiment with it, and just get comfortable with the visual cues and everything. That's it. If you're looking into getting a good time in this game, then this fight will be one of your biggest headaches. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Moving on to the next fight. The next fight will be much simpler. Do not worry about it, even for the advanced threats. So once you defeat Hilda, you get access to the staircase, which you can use to go down around this forest into the Spectral Flower, where you can fight Cagney Carnation. This guy is about the same between beginner and advanced. There is not much you can do to make this guy go by faster. As an opener, I like to just dash, swap to roundabout during that dash, and just get on top of this platform and shooting down. You can jump to make sure that less lobber shots miss. Sometimes no lobber shots miss. And yeah, just shooting down, avoid sits when needed. If you get them. And yeah, if you get 2 rounds of seeds, you won't even see final phase. Cagney doesn't have a lot of health at all. He looks bulky, but that's because he's normally very hard to hit. But with this weapon combo, he is very frail. It shows. So yeah, you can actually one cycle seeds most of the times. Lunge attack, I like to just think it. Okay, there we go. Final phase, there is a bit of an advanced technique I can do. If you get a root to spawn below you, I'll try to get it at least one time. There is a way you can avoid it without losing damage. But yeah, there's 2 things you can do to open up the fight, and it basically is a bit what determines the branch, the way the fight will branch out. Can either get seeds like this, or you can get the face lunge. Seeds again, you usually should one cycle if you're up low with your damage. Kill the seeds when you get them. Okay, this route you can do a full jump, use an EX at the top of it, and it will basically stall you in the air for enough time to just dodge the route and be able to land safely on the same platform you started the jump from. And this is like the third time I've beaten the fight between all the stalking. It's a fast fight. We'll try to get the face lunge. Okay, here it is. I like to shoot up if he does it on the bottom, just to create a trap. He can do it twice. And this will usually transition immediately into final phase. No roots, so just shoot down your EXs. Don't even care about damage at this point because he's done for. That's the fight. And sometimes he will also do attacks coming out of his hands, which can either be carrots or boomerangs. Again, just dodge them or tank them. They're usually not that big of an issue. That's the fight. There's not much you can do to speed up this fight, if anything. So there's actually a weird, there's a weird way you can go for a double damage Lobber EX, but I don't recommend going for it. It's usually not worth going for, so I'm not even gonna show it. So yeah, you cannot go for the Lobber glitch. So even with advanced strat, that fight is simple. Move on to IL2. That house, the way I like to do that movement is to just do 2 neutral dashes, jump cancel the first one, without touching the D-pad basically, and you already get into range to Dr. King dice. Because if you touch the D-pad, you basically go farther away into his interaction box and Cuphead has to backtrack a bit. So I like to not touch the D-pad and just do the 2 dashes. So Dr. King dice, match to his dialogue, dash over, go to IL2. Skip the cutscene, and just walk over to Baroness Von Bon Bon. You're into IL2. So, this boss is simple once you get the hang of it. But boy, there's a lot to learn. She has, if you're not familiar with how this fight works, she has 5 minions in your rotation, and you have to fight 3 of them before you can face off against Baroness Von Bon Bon herself. So the kind of minions you get is completely random, generated at the start of the fight, and there's no way to know what the selection of minions you got is until you see them. So the way you handle this fight is you basically just learn how to deal with each single minion, and you learn with how to deal with each single minion in a different position. So like you know what to do with a minion if you're getting first, and then you know how to deal with a minion if you're getting last, because sometimes you have to do different things depending on the order you get the minion from. The way you open up the fight is the same for all of them. I like to shoot that Lobber shot diagonally like that, so I hold up right, shoot that one, and then I duck and shoot 3 roundabout shots to the left. I'm showing a few minions, but I'll actually explain them now. Muffin, if you're good, you shouldn't take damage from this guy, yeah, like that. I'll show you how to deal with each minion bleeding. So that was the Muffin, that's the Muffin again, no need to show him again. Okay, that's the Gamble Machine, you just shoot it. This is pretty simple. A lot of these are simple, they're just a lot to take in. This one you want to get into the platform immediately for the Cagney Corn. Because as soon as it gets to the midpoint, he can either go up or he can go straight into you. Alright, straight horizontally. So get onto the platform. If he decides to go straight to the left, you keep following him. But if he decides to go up, then you drop off the platform immediately. But you get on the platform immediately regardless. That's the safest way to go about it. And then you just finish him off. Jawbreaker, just shoot it. He does nothing. And I believe the only one that's missing is the Waffle. He went straight left again. I'm trying to, if I can get it, him to go straight up. But it isn't that much to... Okay, Waffle, again, just shoot him. He can fly down low, like this, and then up. Or he can also, like, fly up from the start and then fly down right here. Again, though, it's not much different. You just shoot him. If he goes up, you want to get on top of the platform, though, to be able to hit him. That's all of them, though. That's all of them if they lead. And then once you get to the second and third position, you can start doing different things. So I'll actually clear the first one. There you go. You want to create that Lobber trap. Just Lobber, don't use front pop. And then you shoot a Lobber EX towards the end at a specific timing. I have a visual cue, it's basically for when Baroness starts to retreat her head towards the castle. That's when I shoot my Lobber EX. And if you do it correctly, you can get double damage. You can get that Lobber EX to deal double damage or even triple damage to the minion. And basically every minion dies within seconds. That Jawbreaker just die. He can die even faster than that, but they died so fast basically that his small Jawbreaker following him, that one just glitched out and stayed on screen. It happens basically every single time you do this trap. So that was the Jawbreaker. See if I can show another one. That one missed, yeah, but I still got the quick kill. I was too late on the Lobber EX, so I actually hit the Gumball Machine directly. I think it still ended up being double damage for a separate reason, because that thing is made up of 2 hitboxes, but yeah, if you get it second or third and use that Lobber EX, you can get a quick kill on the Gumball Machine, which is basically you kill it before it has time to turn back right, and it basically just skips 2 animation cycles of it walking to the right and back to the left. So that saves a bunch of time. I have 3 minions left to show. First round you don't have the Gel Bean spawning, so nothing to worry about, just walk against the castle. Right there, yeah. Yeah, that was another quick kill. Oh, this is the guy who dies the fastest. The Waffle. Because he is also made of 2 hitboxes, so a Lobber EX does 4 times as much damage. And even though the Waffle, I believe, is the minion with the second most health, he still dies very quickly to that. Okay, Gumball Machine this time did properly. There you go. That was definitely the proper timing. That was too late. No? Okay. Whatever. So that's all 5 minutes. That's all how you deal with all 5 minutes if they're leading. And that's how you deal with all 5 minutes if they're in the second or third position. Second and third position, you do the same thing. And you're down to 1 HP. So you basically used an HP for both minions in the second and third position. So you use 2 HP in the entire fight and you're down to 1 HP for the final phase. But that is not an issue, because if you just stand here, shoot her down, there, knock out before she's even upright. Make sure you don't hug the wall completely, because if she does start moving, then the right wall becomes a hitbox, and you probably want to avoid it. But that's it. That double damage Lobber, I recommend it even to beginners who are not very comfortable with it. I do my weapon swaps just to make it a bit easier, a bit faster. But you don't need to do that. There's a pretty simple way to get this going. Just stay in Lobber, jump while you do this, and then get this timing down. Just press the X move button, and that should do it. That should still get you the quick kills, assuming you have the correct timing. I recommend this. I recommend damage boosting, because that basically just makes final phase not a threat. Because sometimes if you don't get a fast kill on the last minion, you'll get Baroness to pull out a shotgun. She can do that on the last minion, and version 1.0 has a glitch with that animation that can make her invisible for a large duration of the final phase. So you want to avoid that. You just want to get the fast kills on the minion, and I recommend this. I definitely recommend this Lobber EX method, even if you're not comfortable with the glitch normally. So yeah, just stay in Lobber, and then just focus on pressing the EX move, or on pressing the EX move button. That's all you need to do. No focusing on weapon swapping, no focusing on timing, and then once the minion spawns, you can focus on bringing it down with weapon swapping. The only one, I guess, will be a bit of a problem will be the muffin, because that one is very close. If you get the muffin, you can try and just fall back from a distance and use the range from your weapons to take it down. But other than that, if you're comfortable, you can just play very up close to the minions you'll have enough iframes to cover the muffin especially. So that's it for Baroness. A lot to learn for sure, but once you have it down, trust me, the fight is relatively simple. Once you clear her, you will gain access to this area of the map, and before going there, we're gonna go there to fight the boss. Go talk to this NPC. You can talk to him on the side, like here a bit, and you'll unlock mini bombs for the plane, which will help against all plane stages. Starting from this one, this is gonna be another plane stage, and having a secondary weapon for plane means you have access now to the weapon swap glitch on plane stages too. But it's the optimal way to do it is different than on grind stages. It's not a rhythmical mash. It's a rhythmical double press, and you'll see what I mean right now. Instead of finding a boss, I'll just show you the way you do the weapon swap glitch. So if you just mash, you see how you have your primary weapon that is a low cooldown weapon with a high fire rate, while your secondary weapon, the bombs, are the opposite, are a weapon with a long cooldown. So if you just mash, your weapon with the low cooldown will basically miss out on a lot of damage, because you're basically just shooting mini bombs with a few bullets. That's all you're doing. But the better way to go about this is to basically get down, memorize, get in your head the cooldown for your mini bombs. Just get the hang of this rhythm. And once you do, you basically just do a double tap, going from the machine gun every time the mini bomb has done its cooldown. So you basically shoot the mini bomb, go back to the machine gun, and in real time it looks like this. Missed one of the start, but you get the idea. This takes a bit of time to get the hang of, but it's not that bad. And yeah, this is how you play bosses usually. You stay up close, make sure that you hit both the machine gun and the bullets, and the bombs. And that's how you can get fast fights. This guy will definitely require you, if you're just starting out, to do some beginner strats, and I'll show you. If you're comfortable, try to kind of stay up close, but also have a bit of distance. Don't worry too much if some of your bombs miss. Basically, make sure you can somewhat react to the eggs and to the face guns, so that you can properly dodge them. If you're not comfortable with distance, then just hug the left wall. That's the safest way to go about the fight, and just use the machine gun. Because hugging the left wall basically makes the eggs a non-threat. Because they split in 3 directions, going towards the right. And they never actually hit you, assuming you dodge the egg in the first place. So you can do this to be safe. You can play the entire phase 1 like this. Or if you're more comfortable, you can stand at a closer distance and try to hit some bombs as well. So yeah, that's phase 1. As for phase 2, I'm just gonna call this the only beginner strat. Just standing far back with machine gun. These feathers, they take a while to get down. They are at a consistent, very consistent pattern, but they are a bit of a weird, kind of trajectory. They have a bit of a weird kind of trajectory. So just stand back initially, just to get down how those feathers work, and then once you are more comfortable with the way they basically come out, then you can play the up close game like I'm gonna do right now. Like this. And you get a pretty fast phase 2. Phase 3, you should have a nuke at this point. So use it at the beginning of the fight, and if you are fast with your weapon swap, you should be able to kill the baby in one cycle. If you cannot do that, just exit out of the circle of eggs and just shoot him from a distance. But yeah, basically make sure you're comfortable with following him around the screen. Sometimes if you get a bad pattern, he'll transition it around when you get 2.5 super, 2.5 cards of super, assuming you're using bullets and mini bombs, because mini bombs, when they hit, they give you less cards. So if you're just doing the safe strats from far away, you'll get more cards when the transition moment comes. But yeah, small note. So yeah, you will have a nuke every time at this point anyway, unless you wasted your cards. So I say you're not very comfortable with following the baby, and so you're not hitting many bullets, just exit out, hit him with bombs, and if you haven't killed him by this point, you will try to re-enter the circle of eggs and try to finish him off again. That's phase 3. So actually for phase 4, there's a neat, easy trick that you can do. Right when you defeat the baby, do a pause buffer. This is not just a pause for me to explain, it's actually a part of the fight. You can do a quick pause like this, and it will basically make the stretcher come on screen sooner. So here it is again in real time. If you get the egg, just go up and shoot him a bit for a distance. If you have plenty axes, just use them. It's actually worth over weapon swapping. They deal more damage because the stretcher is very long, so a plenty axe will take for a lot of times. And that's the fight. You should be able to kill him pretty quickly. Yeah, you just go below him to do your weapon swaps. There's a bit of space there. Nice little lead with the trash, in which case you can, if you're good enough and don't miss a plenty axe, you can actually kill him before he does a second attack. So sometimes he'll leave with the trash and you'll go to the left. You have to do this tight dodges like that. If you don't want to go for them, and I don't blame you, just go up above him and just settle with using all the mini bombs to damage him. Or you can do one of the advanced techniques that a lot of people hate. I find them fun, but only because I'm pretty good at them. It's called Luigi swapping. So on a plane level, you know how you normally when you use an EX move, so now I'm holding down the shoot button for the entire time, and when I use an EX move, my regular stream of bullets is getting interrupted by the EX move coming out. But by doing a Luigi swap, which means that while I'm doing the EX move input, I'm also doing a weapon swap, so I'll go to mini bomb and then back to machine gun while doing the EX just to show it off. So you'll see that while I'm using the EX move, the regular stream of bullet is also coming out because I'm pressing weapon swap and EX move on the same frame. So it's a frame perfectly, but which you can get pretty good at that with a lot of practice. I have a bit of an orthodox button layout that makes Luigi swap easier. That's probably why I don't dislike them as much. But what that does is it allows for very quick kills on bosses, including the final phase on Wally. That's where they're the most useful in this fight. Also, you might have noticed I don't really care about taking damage in phase 1 much. I'll just tank the damage if it means dealing more damage, because I can technically do the entire rest of the fight with this. You can also do a Luigi swap on a nuke. So I do that since it saves a few frames. So yeah, I did Luigi swaps on all planing access, so that's how quick you can kill him. And if he goes left and nail every single Luigi swap, you should be able to kill him before any of the projectiles he throws at you becomes a threat. So that's the good thing about Luigi swaps, but you also gotta get good at nailing every single frame perfect input in a row. But yeah, I'll show the fight once again with the advanced threats, and then I'll move on to the next boss. So phase 1, just stay up close and make sure you hit every single bullet. Think if needed. I'm not thinking here because when he goes up top, I got a bad pattern to where if I dealt optimal damage, when he starts phase 2, he basically will be stuck on top, and his hitbox on the head basically wouldn't have been in a convenient position for me to hit him. So just wait till he comes down a bit more and then I phase him. That's a bit late, but you get the idea, basically. Okay, this should be a bad pattern. There you go. So right here, it's basically impossible for me to hit him optimally. So that's why you want to avoid that. So if you recognize you get a bad pattern, just stop shooting for a while, miss him, make sure you don't get optimal damage, and you phase him while he's a bit further down than this spot. Because you end up losing time if you're too fast in phase 1. That's how a lot of things in speedrunning actually are, ironically enough. So yeah, I'm just tanking everything in phase 1. If I get down to 1 HP in phase 1, I don't care because I can do the rest of the fight with this. So yeah, do a Luigi swap there, just to save a few frames. That baby still has a hitbox for a bit, so watch out for it. Hard, so I just go down and hit it a bit. And that's the fight. If it was the trash, I would just kill him immediately. Regardless of whether he went left or right. There's 4 possible patterns there of Final Phase. He can lead either with the heart or with the trash, and he can move left or right. So he can move left into trash, he can move left into heart, he can move right and lead trash, or he can move right and do heart. Those are the 4 possible patterns. That's Wally, and next is another plane fight in case you didn't have enough of it already. Okay, so for this fight, I'm gonna give myself an invisibility cheat. I believe this is the first instance in the run of an off-screen hitbox. I'm gonna zoom out thanks to this mod. Yeah, as you can see, apart from the sarcophagus at the top, that one doesn't matter for us, but it's more this hand on the bottom here. You cannot physically go there and reach the hand, but what you can do from here is use mini bombs to go ahead and hit that, and it'll actually deal damage to Djimmi. So yeah, this hand is used for a phase later on in the fight, but what Cuphead likes to do sometimes is it likes to store things that are used later on in the fight off screen in ways that sometimes you can actually abuse of. Like in this case, you can actually go ahead and hit that hitbox. So with that knowledge, you do not need to go up close to hit Djimmi with like both machine gun and bombs. Just go here. You'll be able to hit Djimmi straight with the bullets and hit the off-screen hitbox with the bombs. and that's all you need to do. You do not need to move from the left wall if you get the jewels, basically. If you get anything else, you still want to get up close after you get the attack, and then you move back. But yeah, Djimmi in phase 1, by the way, he opens up with the 3 different patterns. He has jewels, like here, and this is the lucky pattern, because that basically allows you to just keep your left, and basically you just keep using the weapon scope glitch the entire time without missing any damage from the bombs while you move forward and then back, if you get the jewels. Anything else, you wanna learn how to bait the attacks and then just get up close, like in this case. Just get up close like this, and then you just get back to the left position and hit the off-screen hitbox with the bombs. And then if you get the cat turns, which is the last attack I wanna get, this, you just bait them to the left, move up, left, and then to the left wall. And that's how you deal with all of the phase 1 patterns. So actually, I suggest for phase 2, for beginners, you just forget the hitbox exists and you just focus on destroying these phases and going through phase 2. Oh, and by the way, these phases actually deal damage to the boss. But you might think, well, if I have a bit of an opportunity, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this hitbox because there's a lot of downtime in the fight. But the catch is, there's a catch. There's a glitch in the fight where if you over-damage Djimmi in a way that you clear this phase, the sarcophagus phase, before it's supposed to begin, what it'll do, basically, it'll freeze Djimmi. It'll start the sarcophagus phase, and then it'll freeze him there. Basically, you're gonna be able to keep damaging him and all. You can finish the fight, but it's full with all the attacks, with the planets, the ghosts, and it's that is the advanced strat. You just basically over damaging him and finish the fight here. But it's a really hard way to go through the fight, and you need a lot of experience to be able to survive all the different patterns. So what I suggest doing, if you're just starting out, is to just do not risk over damaging him. As soon as phase 2 starts, just forget the hidden hitbox exists. Just go through the phase and you should not be able to over damaging him. As soon as this phase starts, you just clear it. There you go. Should be an insta-kill most times. Then this phase starts, you can use the nuke. This phase should be pretty quick. This hat can be a bit of a nuisance. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. And you can go close to him. If he starts doing the gun, you can actually go below him. Like, just hug the puppet as much as possible and you should be able to go past the shots in a way that you're still very close to the puppet and the shots don't hit you. And this final phase is also pretty much a joke. Just stand here in this spot, shouldn't hit you, and the fight is over. Now, of course, the story is all different if you want to intentionally go for the glitch. You'd usually finish this fight in over a minute if you don't go for the glitch. And with this glitch, you should be able to finish the fight in under a minute. So of course we're gonna go for the over damage. We're gonna try and freeze Djimmi in the sarcophagus phase. And to do that, what I suggest doing is we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna try and shoot the hitbox as much as possible. And we're also gonna try and use 2 planing axes on these faces. So you don't want to start the sarcophagus phase with a nuke. You want to collect it as you're doing the phase, unless you're able to do Luigi swaps, which I'll show later. But yeah, this phase actually take more damage from planing axes than you will be able to deal by just shooting it down regularly. So you can try and take advantage of that, as well as being able to not start the sarcophagus phase with a nuke, which is gonna allow you to use a Planey Axe and hit a lot of ticks off of it. So basically kill two birds with one stone. Being able to deal more damage on these phases and being able to use a Planey Axe at the start of the sarcophagus phase. So the way you want to use these Planey Axes is you want to sandwich them in between phases. So I got a phase on the bottom here. I'm going to try and use it slightly above so that if I were to get a phase right above on either this pillar or the next one, it can hit two after. It will basically hit it. In my experience, top and bottom are usually the best ones. Top especially. So like right there, top has a very high chance to have at least two, to hit at least two, if not three phases. So yeah, use two Planey Axes, no more, no less, really. This should be the perfect amount. So yeah, you start this phase and you can do a Planey Axe right here on this tiling. This hits for a lot of ticks. So for this phase, this is the scary part. These ghosts, they spawn randomly, as well as you have the planets attack. So to dodge the planets, you have to stay very close to Djimmi, because those planets basically they spawn disjointed to Djimmi. So if you stand close, they will not hit you, but you're also at the mercy of the ghosts by doing that. So you want to try and keep as many HP as possible to make this phase as safe as possible, and you follow Djimmi around. If you get hit, just let the iframes go by and then use a nuke right after to abuse of iframes as much as possible. And that should be the fight. If you have saved 3 HP and you're optimal with your damage, there should be nothing to worry about. But in case you don't have the HP to think, or you're not as confident in your ability to dish out damage as efficiently, you also have the ability to play that phase safe. So yeah, in this scenario I'm at 1 HP. So I'm just gonna stay further away from Djimmi, which is gonna make me have to dodge the planets. But there is this movement you can do. You just go further away, and then once those planets open wide, that's your opportunity to go for in. And this distance gives you a good reaction time for the ghosts. If you have a nuke, you can use the iframes to your advantage just to get a bit more DPS off. That's about the strategy if you want to play it safe. But yeah, standing far away will mean you have a higher likelihood of actually missing the mini bombs. So it's not as good, definitely, as staying up close. But it's a good compromise, at least, between like playing it safe but also like going for the glitch. And then if you know how to do Luigi swaps, you don't even have to use the nuke. So right here, that's where I do my first Luigi swap. And then I just Luigi swap my entire way through. Missed one, but this is faster than using the nuke, just a little bit riskier. And of course you have to be good at Luigi swaps to make this worth doing. But yeah, you can get faster times with this method. That is about it for Djimmi, really. It's a bit of a scary fight, especially at first, but if you're not going for the glitch, this fight is pretty easy. If you're going for the glitch and you wanna do risky strats, so you wanna stay up close and maybe you're at 1 HP, but you still don't wanna play the safe strats from a distance because they do waste a few seconds. Then yeah, you're gonna lose a few rounds on this guy. But other than that, once you're getting down, especially at the more advanced level, there should be one of the more consistent fights in the run, at least, like, to finish. Not as much time-wise, there's a bit of randomness to him. But yeah, that's it for Djimmi. On to Beppi the Clown. This is probably one of the most entertainingly glitched fights in the run. There's a pretty major skip done on this boss fight. It's called the Beppi glitch, again, very original with names in this community. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what this looks like, and then I'm gonna explain you how you wanna go about this fight, or just miss the glitch, okay? Try this again. Okay, this should be a good pattern now. There you go. So, you know you got the glitch when, as soon as you clear phase 1, you have this muck there. And then you start phase 2, and things happen. So yeah, he's gonna stay in phase 2 until the end of the fight, and you're gonna be able to kill him right there. This is actually pretty easy to perform. I recommend learning this, especially because it feels very satisfying to pull this off. I actually recommend, if you're unsure whether you should learn this run or not, this should be one of the first fights you learn if you wanna get a feel of whether this is the right speed game for you or not. But yeah, it's all about overdamaging, like Djimmi. You basically clear phase 2 before it's even supposed to begin. You do that within phase 1. And yeah, it's some patterns are harder than others, because this phase 1, he likes to take more or less time on his cycles. So there's some patterns that are going to be shorter, so have a shorter time window to deal enough damage. You're always going to be doing this in 2 cycles. If you get a 1 cycle, you won't be able to get the glitch off. You don't have enough time in 1 cycle to get the glitch. And yeah, more than 2 cycles is unnecessary usually. You don't want to do more than, since in a run you won't have access to a half bar like I have now. The way people gauge how much damage they've dealt to a boss in real time is usually with their super meter. They just look at their super meter, and I know that I don't want to deal more than 1 card and a half of damage. So right here, he will phase transition at about 1287 HP of damage. So if I shoot him 1 more time, he'll actually transition to phase 2. And if you look at my super meter, that is exactly 1 card and a half. So 1 more hit, and that will be the phase transition. So that's your limit. You don't want to collect more super cards than that. And you want to keep that in mind, because you don't want to get a 1 cycle. Then on the 2nd cycle you go ahead. You try to deal as much damage as you can, and that should be the glitch. And I'll show you more patterns, because there's some of the shorter patterns. I didn't use any of my X moves here, as well as I was ready to think. I didn't listen to my own advice. But as well as I didn't use any of my X moves, so I'm ready to tank again. But if you don't wanna tank hits, especially because the glitched phase is pretty hard, if you feel like you wanna save some health for that, just feel free to dodge a bit and use some EX moves to make up for the damage you lost by turning around and not having him under your line of fire. So like this. You just go ham on the X move. That one was probably the hardest pattern to get the glitch with. Especially if you don't want to think. Oh yeah, you want to keep going here. And this should be the glitch. I'll try to show 1 hard pattern, because the glitch is possible in all of them. That's pretty easy. That one will be easy. There's actually ways you can tell what pattern he'll give you based on the first one, basically. This one might be short. Never mind. Well, that was pretty short, but not the shortest. There's a 2 in 10 chance he'll give me the shortest pattern. There you go. There you go. And you can actually get the glitch with that, even without using the X's at all. But you need to be optimal with damage, that's for sure. Yeah, here I'm just thinking. But if you don't feel comfortable with thinking, just back off a bit and just use those yak moves. I just like to save them because there's an extra time save if I just save them for later. But yeah, that's about it for the glitch. I have a separate video to about the glitch itself, also pretty old, but it covers everything pretty much in detail. But that's most of it you need to do. You just try to not get more than 1.5 cards of damage on this first cycle, and then you just go heavier as much as possible. I like to not use EXs if I can avoid it, also because there's a chance you lower damage. If you trigger the glitch too early, there's a possibility phase 2 will basically his hitbox will be too far up for reasons. So okay, you go through phase 1, and if you saved cards like I did, what you can do is another fight with an off-screen hitbox. There it is. Say hi. So here to the left, you can actually hit him with, not with Lobber, with Roundabout. It's actually a bit glitched when you zoom out with the mod, but you normally cannot hit with this hitbox with Lobber. Yeah, but if you use Roundabout, you'll see his health is going down, my meter is going up. And the other thing you can hit him with is Lobber Axes, which can deal double or even triple damage. So we'll be taking advantage of that. That is the main reason why I get my cards. So I go over here, and then I shoot 3 Lobber Axes diagonally up. There's the way you can get triple damage, if you're lucky. Otherwise, you get double damage. So they're never wasted, they never deal single damage. You shoot them diagonally up like this, and they should deal double or triple damage. And that's the best spot to use those EX cards in. So use 3 of them because once you reach a specific health value, I believe it's a little less than 700, then that hitbox disappears. And then I just prepare a trap here and go through phase 2. This one just will take its practice. You need to basically find ways to dodge those balloons, and also just keep Beppi under your line of fire, basically. Oh, 29. 29 is pretty good time. We like to gauge the in-game timer a lot because it's fun to use the in-game timer to just gauge the performance. So yeah, if you don't feel comfortable, don't feel too concerned with just dodging the balloons a bit, because at that point, once you got the glitch, you're no longer into any time constraints really. You just gotta finish the fight. So just dodge the balloons if you have to, even if it means missing damage. Of course, if you wanna save the most times, you've gotta keep your stream of bullet consistent. So yeah, I unloaded those 3 X's, and now I'm ready to do the trap. I guess my best advice is that you can use the X's to stall in mid-air, as well as, especially Lobber X's, they do a really good job because they have splash damage. So if you hit Beppi with a Lobber X's, it will clear all the balloons around you. So you can use that to your advantage also to take care of the balloons. But just watch a lot of people going through the fight, try to replicate what they do, how they deal with the balloons, play the fight a lot yourself. That's how you learn to be more efficient with that phase. Yeah, I'll show you one thing before I move on to the next boss, because I need to keep HP for this for the glitched phase though. So I'm gonna try and be a bit more conservative with my health. Okay, just unload these cards. So if you're in a situation where you'll take a hit from the room, just get hit by the people on the train instead. If you know you're gonna get hit instead. Because what that does is instead of giving you a regular knockback, instead it'll spring you up into Beppi's hitbox and it'll allow you to actually damage gain more. So it's a bit of an optimization you can do to just save a bit of time in case you're in a situation where you need it. That's all really. It's just a fight you'll have to do a lot to understand. To understand especially how to go through the glitch phase. But that's the basis of it, and actually almost done with Isle 2. It's only this guy left. He is actually not that big of a threat with the Warbles glitch. So I'll show you a bit of a safe way to go about this, and then I'll show you the optimal way to go about this fight. But it isn't nearly as hard of a fight as it usually is casually. There's a way to cheese him, that's why. So, actually a common theme of a lot of bosses in L2. You can overdamage him to clear phase 2 before it's even supposed to start. And what that does is it freezes Grim in phase 2. So you never have to go through final phase. And I guess that's really why this fight isn't nearly as hard as this casually, because that phase is really hard usually for people. But if you want to, which I guess will be my recommendation if you're just learning the fight, if you want to specifically trigger the glitch, what you want to look for is you want to get about 3.8 cards of damage, and then once you get this attack, the Fireballs, you just go all in. Just keep firing at him, use the axes, and boom, that's the phase transition. You've cleared phase 2 before it's supposed to start. And then once it starts, he'll be frozen there. Another thing that helps, if you haven't gotten the glitch by this point, his hitbox actually lingers to the right a bit, so keep shooting here to the right and then just shooting left once he appears. And he's luckier. You'll have to dodge the fireballs, but that's all he has. He doesn't have a hitbox himself. The only thing that can hurt you, the only things that can hurt you, actually two things: the pit on the bottom, so don't fall on the pit, and the fireballs. So just dodge the fireballs, don't fall off the clouds. That's all you need to do. And then you just finish the fight. So yeah, basically just get 3.8 cards of damage, and then once you see he starts inhaling for the fireballs, you start going ham on damage, and that's how you can basically force the glitch. The advanced strats is just do not care about the glitch at all, you just go through the fight regardless. You can technically get the glitch on all patterns. There are some patterns that are really hard to get the glitch with anyway, but it doesn't matter because getting the glitch isn't technically faster. I should get the glitch on this pattern anyway, but I'll show you what the fight looks like anyway. There's multiple versions of the glitch too, because if you get the glitch right here when he's going from the left before he's even spawned the fireballs, you'll get this version of the glitch without the fireballs. So this version of the fight is even easier, because all you have to do is just not fall off the clouds. Yeah, 31. This time it's 2 seconds away from the best achieved time. And then there's another version of the glitch where you trigger the glitch still when he appears from the left, but a little bit earlier than I did there, and he just basically stays frozen in place. Also without a hitbox. I don't know if I'll be able to show it off, but that's about how it looks like. Yeah, don't be afraid to play it safe if you need to. Just you don't have to be as reckless as I am being right now. If you don't have clouds, just fall back on the ones from a distance, use your range. And, you know, that's all you need to do. You can use the axis to hover in there too. That's another really good suggestion, to hop basically from cloud to cloud. is gonna be an easy pattern to get the glitch with. I'll explain that there's one advanced detail you can know about this hitbox. Normally you can only hit it with roundabout here at the bottom, or at the top here you can hit it with both Lobber and roundabout. That is because normally he is too far to the right to hit with Lobber, because Lobber despawns once it's out of bounds, but Lobber roundabout basically becomes active once it swings back. But the at the top you have the head part of Grimm's hitbox that is just barely sticking a bit too far left enough to where Lobber 2 will hit it. So if you stand here basically to the top, even this spot will work. You can basically hit it with both Lobber and roundabout. At this point, his hitbox has despawned because once he appears to the left, that hitbox disappears. It's just a lingering hitbox. It's not an actual off-screen stored hitbox. But yeah, during that phase transition, you can try and make sure if you have a cloud that spawns that far up, basically making sure that you just right here. That is the best way to hit that hitbox. And if you don't get the glitch, it's definitely not the end of the world, because first of all, there's this weird hitbox right here that you can hit during the phase transition, so you don't lose any damage. And during final phase, his necks do not have a hitbox. His heads do, so if you go far enough right, you'll actually get hit and have the possibility of dying. But if you just hug the left wall, he usually doesn't hit you. Sometimes one of the heads basically bops far enough to the left to hit you, but it's rare. And when he ones up for the flamethrower attack, that will also hit you, but you usually don't get to the flamethrower. He dies earlier. So yeah, that's it, honestly. Just dash as an opening, keep shooting him. These opening clouds are always the same. So you know what to do every time, basically. And then the rest are random, so it's all the reaction. I'll probably not get the glitch here, which is awesome, because I'll get to show off another glitchless fight. And yeah, just hit this weird hitbox right here, and just hug the left wall. Use the X's to stall in midair. You can also do a dash against the left wall if you feel like you need to. So jump EX, and if you need to stall for a little bit longer, you dash against the left wall. And that's all you really need to know about the fight. After that is just doing it over and over until you're comfortable with it. That's all. That's all for Isle 2. That Grim Matchstick basically marks the halfway point of the run. So you've just, if you've learned every fight up until this point, you've just learned half the run. You have pretty much, is that right? You have 9, okay, maybe a little less. You have a little fewer bosses left than you have done, so Grim will be a little after the halfway point of the run. But still, Grim is about in the middle of the run. So you go to L3, same thing you did in the Die House to IL2, you just dash, talk to King Dice, and dash, go to L3, skip the cutscene, talk to Rumor. First boss. This is not a hard fight. It can be a hard fight. It can be a hard fight. It's a fight with a bunch of randomness. Because not only Rumor itself, not only does she have 3 possible patterns that you have to keep in mind, but also the platforms, much like in Grim, are randomly spawning, or rather, they're always in consistent position slots, but the randomness comes from which platforms go missing. So, you know, it's another one of those fights where you just have to play it a lot and be comfortable with the fight, know how you should be able to move around. And for top level, for the people interested in getting really good times, You'll know what I'm talking about when I say screw this fight. So let's go through phase 1 first, because this one is pretty straightforward. The way... Okay, a safer way to open this fight, actually, will be to go to this platform, shoot the roundabout, and then just kill him from here. This one will always guarantee you don't get hit. There's a bit of a faster way to go through it, though, which is going up close to this point and then just jumping up and taking him down. Sometimes the risk that comes from this strat is that if he decides to stop, because he can stop at random points, if he decides to stop too early and you don't react to it in time, you will bump into him and he will hit you. So what you do is, if he decides to stop too early, I'll do it anyway, regardless of what pattern he does. You just do this. You walk to the right platform, and you take it down. Otherwise, if you don't feel like doing that strat, just go here, do the roundabout trap, and just take it down like this. 100% consistent. Now, this is where you will start seeing platforms disappear. So this is always a bit of an improv, because you won't always be able to stand on the same spots every time. Try to take... I recommend either the middle platform, if you can. I recommend standing on the middle platform like this and creating a trap, like a vertical trap like this one, because what you're looking for usually is the middle pattern, because the middle pattern allows you to get a 1 cycle. Every other pattern cannot do that. You cannot do better than a 2 cycle, and that loses about 7 or 8 seconds. So that's why this fight is a big headache. Because there is a 30... well, no, the way I look at it now is 67% chance to lose 8 seconds, because the middle pattern is almost a requirement for top ranks. So if you can, stand here and do the trap. Otherwise, another alternative is, if you don't have platforms, stand either on this platform or on this one, and do a roundabout trap like this. Just swing at one side and it will create a trap for that side. Or if you get a spawn like this, you just turn around all of a sudden. I guess a practical example will be easier to understand. So phase 1, always the same. The only consistent part about the fight. So like this. And then if she were to spawn left, I will turn around, do the trap, and then just shoot her there. Okay, on to actually the fight. So after that, it's not that complicated. It's just about shooting her down, really. So you just keep doing the weapon swap glitch, use the X's. But yeah, if you don't get the platforms, you just take it safe. Go back, look for an opening, and then shoot her when you have time. And almost every time you should be able to kill her here during this this book reading animation. If you go to final phase, because it will happen when you're first learning the game, if you happen to go to final phase, that is not a problem. And I'll show you how you can deal with final phase. Okay, so say I was on as optimal with my damage, and she has like 200 HP left for the final phase. That is still not too much of an issue. Just stand in the middle, do this vertical shoot up, prepare as many bullets as you can, and you should be able to take her down really quickly. Because all of these bullets really just build up. She will take all that damage once she comes rising down. And if you don't have a middle platform, then tough luck. That's a thing that can happen. When basically you won't have a platform in one column at all on the screen. So that means you cannot create a trap. But usually she won't have that much health left, so she'll be able to go through final phase. no problem regardless. 200 HP is a pretty unrealistic amount anyway, unless you really missed a lot of damage. Okay, middle pattern. This one you can get a 1 cycle on, but you can also get screwed on by the platforms a lot. These one are okay, so I should be able to get it. There we go. Here Hitbox lingers off screen for a while, so you can still keep jumping up and trying to hit her. But yeah, you can get a 1 cycle and get a 31 or better. And oh boy, this one is rare on PB base. Yeah. You wanna focus on hitting the top part, not the. Some people might think that hitting the head will be the natural way to go about it, but that is worse because there's more things you have to watch out for, and you are more susceptible to threats. But oh, nice. But yeah, if you're standing at the top, you have more time to see things coming, and yeah, you can basically shift from here to the side to the middle. Tank damage if you can, doesn't really matter. Wow, 5 HP off. But yeah, that's about how you deal with the middle pattern. You can get trolled by platforms and still miss the 1 cycle, but funnily enough, it's still faster than getting a middle pattern because you skip at the middle of animation. And yeah, you cannot get a 34 usually by getting a side pattern. But yeah, that's I believe I've shown everything. She can spawn on the side and basically do 2 different things. She can do the spheres, which basically try to follow you around. And then there's the triangles, which spawn at your location and then shoot three projectiles. 3 projectiles 3 times. 3 projectiles 3 times. And all of them, they're pretty telegraphed usually. You can also stand here at the bottom if you're feeling confident. You can think a bit, doesn't really matter. Also, if you feel like the only way out of a spot is to parry, for example, just parry through the orb, or parry a projectile from the triangles to destroy them, then go ahead. It's definitely worth the time loss here on the result screen than over taking a hit or dying. So that's the fight, honestly. It's probably one of the more annoying fights in the run, just because of all the luck involved. And especially because of all the platforms, all the platforms luck. So you're just gonna have to be playing this fight a lot and get used to being on your toes the entire time, being able to do improvs, being able to do things you're not usually used to, just winging it. That's all. Next fight. This is the fastest fight in the entire run, with one easy trick. Not that easy, unfortunately. So you can end this fight in phase 1, and I'll show you how that works. There we go. So if you don't understand what the heck just happened there, I do not blame you, first of all. And second of all, the way this works is, what we know is that if the hard part of Dr. Kahl is left with little HP, and you finish it off with a Bomb X in a way that all magnets hit at the same time, it'll basically glitch out the damage calculation, and it'll end the fight in phase 1, basically getting an instant knockout. I'm gonna show you a bit of a safer way to count the damage, basically to ensure that you get the glitch every time. I will not recommend learning the fight full. I still haven't, after having spent thousands of hours, I still haven't learned phase 2 and 3 with the weapon swap glitch after missing glitch, because it's faster to retry if you miss the glitch. If you miss the glitch, you just retry the fight and redo it from the beginning, and it's also easier. It's also easier. So I definitely just recommend pushing for the glitch and get this glitch at all costs, because you do not want to go through the final few phases. So destroy the antenna. The first thing you want to do in phase 1 is you want to destroy this antenna and make sure you disable it from firing a laser. And then you move on to this part and you shoot you do 3 rotations with the weapon swap glitch. So you basically shoot 3 mini bombs while doing the weapon swap glitch. Through 3 and you move down. If you do this right, you should be able to destroy both parts at the same time, basically. Because if you position yourself correctly, the bombs should do splash damage on the next part. But if you don't, that's fine. Just make go back and forth between parts and destroy them. I'll be less optimal. I miss the splash damage. Maybe I'm too far up. Yeah, I'll just destroy the parts, take my time. And then for this heart, here's a 100% way of getting this glitch. So forget the machine gun, just switch to mini bombs like this, and just hit the heart with the mini bombs. You want to make sure that you hit the heart directly with the bombs, because if you, for example, just hit this bomb coming from the bottom and you basically hit the heart with the splash damage and nothing else, it will throw off this count. So what you want to do is you want to hit the heart directly with these bombs, and you want to hit it 9 times. So 1, just count to 9, 3, take your time, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then once you see an opening, this heart is now at the perfect health for a Bomb X. There you go. And that's all you need, really, to go through the fight. You just hit it 9 times, do a Bomb X, and you get the glitch. This is the absolute safest way to get the glitch without any risk of messing up the damage calculation. Though you have to make sure, again, you don't hit the heart with splash damage from nothing else, and you also don't accidentally hit the heart right here after you already destroyed the parts, like right there. The heart model wasn't on screen yet, but the hitbox spawns immediately after you kill the parts, so keep that in mind, because I already messed up my damage a little bit. But yeah, that will be the safe way. Then I will show you an intermediate way, which is what most people do to get this this glitch quickly. Okay, so the opening is always the same. You just go on top and kill the antenna, and you destroy the parts in your preferred method. Then you do 3 weapon swap glitch rotations, 2 bomb axes, 1 bomb in between those 2 bomb axes. And that's the fast way of getting the glitch. So when I say weapon swap glitch rotation, I'll refer it to WSG now. It just stands for weapon swap glitch. So when you do 3 WSG rotations, when I say that, I just mean the amount of mini bombs you've shot while doing the weapon swap glitch. So after you do 3 of them, you basically shoot a few bullets right after the 3rd bomb, and then you go in with the bomb axes. That will be a good way to get you damage. 2, 3. I actually missed a few bullets. Oh, I still got it. Okay. Yeah, because the other thing that can happen, you can be too close to the heart and actually get past its hitbox, or you can be too far up or too far down. So the positioning you need to be in is pretty precise. It's just something you'll need to get the hang of. Um, that's about it. The other thing you need to be careful of is the nuts, the nuts and bolts, um, knocking you off of the heart. So if you are too far from the heart, you basically miss some of the magnets, like this. So you can be like up close to this heart, and then some of these guys just knock you back, and all of a sudden you missed some magnets. So if you see you have some of these projectiles approaching you, right before firing that, right before those magnets will actually come out, I recommend ramming a bit into him. Because basically once you take knockback, you will be again in perfect position to shoot that bomb X. That's about all, dude, really. It's just about getting the hang of this and getting the consistency needed. That's it. Another kind of safe way to go about it, if you're looking for a bit of a compromise between this fast threat and a bit of a safer way to guarantee the glitch, then this is for you. So again, just destroy the antenna, destroy the parts as usual. This part doesn't really matter. And then you just shoot the heart until it cracks. There you go. And then once it cracks, you go in for 2 bomb X's. There you go. This does not work 100%. There is a very specific health value where the heart is cracked and you do those 2 bomb X's, but the glitch still doesn't work. If you get that, you're pretty unlucky. But if you want to be safer, just like get the heart to crack, shoot 1 more bullet, that should be fine. Yeah, that's all. That's all it is really. It's faster probably than just counting bombs, but you know, it also requires you to pay attention to the state of that heart. So yeah, it's a little bit more advanced for sure. Now, the absolute fastest way to go through this guy, and I'm the only one using this threat. Hashtag brag. It's the following: you just kill the parts as usual. Then you do 2 Luigi swaps on the heart. Ah, I missed one. But yeah, you just do 2 mini bomb rotations instead of 3 on the heart. You wait a little bit, and then you just go in with the Luigi swapped bomb X's. There we go. And that should consistently provide a 13 seconds fight. This is the absolute fastest you can beat Dr. Kahl's robot without charms or things you will normally get it to run. But yeah, the hard part is obviously just the Luigi swaps, because if you miss any of the 2, that just pretty much strips the setup. If you miss the first one, you can still back it up, just deal enough damage to where the second DX will get the glitch. If you miss the second one, it's RIP. Because then you have no more cards available to go for the glitch. Or worse, you might have just missed the glitch. So yeah, that will be how you do it. And you need to nail both Luigi swaps to make this worth doing. It only saves half a second really over the other fast threat. But that is technically the fastest way to go through Dr. Kahl's robot. If you want to learn it, be my guest. Moving on, this is now going to become a bit more of a breather. So you've just gone through a couple of hard headache-inducing bosses. Static stage play is a bit of a walk in the park. So this is a bit like a just shoot it boss. That's all there is to it. She has a few patterns she can do in phase 1. She can vanish. If she vanishes, just dash away like this. Just yeah. Once she lands, you just shoot. You follow her. She should jump above you. Just lure the fan to be below her. That's the best way to go about it, and that's phase 1. There is a bit of an optimization during this phase transition. Okay, in case this attack doesn't do anything. So yeah, you just follow her, and that's phase 1. As soon as the angels disappear, you see from the health bar how she stopped taking damage. So shooting her is useless. What you can do though is use yet another hidden hitbox. Not to the left. To the left is a bunch of things that are... Well, one thing is the wave that's used later in the fight, and the other thing is an unused asset, which will become actually used in a later patch. But the thing you want to keep attention to is this thing on the top. That's phase 3. And you can actually barely hit it with roundabout. Like this. You jump, and at the peak of your jump use roundabout. So you can basically start in bits of damage during the phase transition. And it ends up saving a bit of time. This one, if you're feeling confident with phase 1, you can actually just try to prepare a virtual trap. And you basically hope that she lands on you. And if she does the fan, you can actually get a 2-cycle on phase 1, which is the fastest. But yeah, during this phase transition, you hit the hidden hitbox, and then once phase 2 starts, you prepare a roundabout trap, and you start shooting her. Use the axes when you have them, and that's phase 2. Lure these toys out. You don't want to deal with them. But yeah, once phase 3 starts, then you also just shoot it down. Phase 3 is fast enough most of the times to where you usually will not get an attack that is a threat. Most of the times you should be able to defeat it quickly enough to where you get a meteor, which is scripted. You always get a meteor first, and then you kill her before she has a chance to do a second attack. So yeah, you can even prepare a trap here, use the X moves. Yeah, she's done. Follow her up, and then she'll spawn on the left. You can kill her there. That is the fight. That is really the entire fight, and there is an optimization you can do if you're comfortable with a Lobber glitch to make this fight even faster. And I'll obviously show the more advanced threats. So the way you save time in phase 1 is really just by getting more comfortable with how Sally moves, and so just better tracking. So she vanishes. I'll just prepare the trap. She jumps left. I know where she goes, and that's a 3-cycle. So you just do the trap, and here where you can use the Lobber glitch, right here. Get a really quick kill, especially if she jumps right after. You follow her properly. You can kill her right there on the top of the screen, which makes this phase transition faster, because this third phase, it starts when Sally in phase 2 gets on the top of the screen. So if you kill her at the top of the screen, that makes for a faster phase transition. So this is a really ideal scenario right here. Phase 3 again, really fast. Should be able to kill her before anything becomes a problem. And then you just get final phase. That's really all there is to this fight. You get better at tracking phase 1, you implement the Lobber glitch in phase 2, and get a really fast goal where she doesn't get the chance to attack. You kill phase 3 before it gets a chance to attack, and you kill phase 4 before anything has a chance to happen. So there's an extremely brutal fight, which is really nice after all the fights you've had to deal with. Next. This fight is deceptively hard to optimize. I'll show you a bit of a beginner's strat first. And this one, yeah, if you're not looking to do anything terribly advanced, this fight really isn't that complicated. You just shoot them and dodge attacks when needed. Because the thing about the weapon swap glitch is that you have such a high damage output that there really isn't too much for you to worry about. Oh yeah, I'm doing advanced thing. But yeah, you just go through phase 1. I want to show a bit more attacks. The bombs, they hit the ground and they split up. You can tank them if you want to, because there really aren't too many things in later phases that become a threat. But yeah, just jump the flames if needed. I want to show more attacks. But yeah, of course, dodge them if you feel like you want to save health. This catapult, there's a bit of a tight spot. You can basically fit in and jump through those projectiles, or you can just go past them and turn around when needed. Of course, the space is wider when he throws it from the far right of the screen, and you have all the time of the war to let those the space between the projectiles widen up. Okay, one more chance here. There we go. So yeah, sometimes what you'll get in phase 1 usually shouldn't happen if you are optimal with your damage. But for example, say I get the bombs and then I don't feel really comfortable dodging those bombs, so I'm gonna turn around a lot and miss damage. I'm gonna get a 2 cycle, so I'll get a second attack. And sometimes you'll get a charge, which is actually, he cannot lead with a charge. He can only lead with the bombs or with a catapult. But he can do that on his second attack, and I'll show you how you can deal with the charge in a cool way. If I can get it. It isn't rare, really. It's another catapult. So yeah, say I'm not confident that you just walk left. You have enough time to let that space widen up. Yeah, here's the charge. So instead of using the springs, you can actually jump above him and use an EX to stall a bit, and basically just keep optimal damage. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, again, you can just use the springs. And you should get a 2 cycle actually. That is a little good, kinda, because it basically sets up for a fast phase 2. Basically, you're not gonna have to deal with that usually. But yeah, usually you're gonna have to deal with a few attacks here in this. There's a bit of an advanced way to deal with these flames. You jump and then you pick your jump, use an EX to stall a bit. Kinda like you do on Cagney with the roots. Didn't actually get the flame there, so they didn't quite show off what I wanted to show off. But yeah, nice, 1 HP. So here, right there is the timing to jump. And you shoot an EX downwards to keep damaging him. And that is optimal in DPS. And phase 2 should be pretty fast. And phase 3 should also be pretty fast. Usually go down without a fight. Ghosts are completely innocuous. Sometimes he'll attack you with a spa. In which case, you should. What you can do is you should go a bit of in the opposite direction of where that paw is coming from, and you just dodge that way. He should die shortly after. And also, there's a way to dodge that attack without losing damage. which is basically barely be inside the cat's head hitbox, because that entire head is a hitbox. It's the part where you can damage him. So you can barely be inside the head, on the opposite side of the palm, and use an EX to stall a bit in midair, kind of like this. That was a bit late, or early rather. I'll actually stop shooting and see if I can get the... Okay, there it is. So right here, right at the edge, and then you just don't go right any further. And that's how you can dodge that attack without losing damage. Or if you're not feeling confident, you just go a little bit further out, and that's how you deal with it. Okay, so advanced strats. As I mentioned, this is one of the most deceptively hard fights to optimize because of the Lobber glitch. So phase 1 you do not want to go for Lobbers because he moves left and right. There's no way you're gonna get a very consistent way to get these double damages off. I want to actually keep 2 HP for phase 2, so I'll dodge if needed. Then as soon as phase 1 is over, like this, you dash to the left, and then you manipulate Lobbers. You want to shoot 3 of them, and then you go up, you take these flames, go down, and you shoot Lobbers right there, right in that corner. And you might think that's not a very efficient way of dealing with a phase, because you're losing damage if you're shooting diagonally down. But turns out if you shoot the Lobber that way, it'll not only deal triple damage, it'll deal 4 times as much damage for reasons still unknown. We speculate it's some kind of property with the platform he's standing on, but yeah, you can deal quadruple damage by shooting the Lobber EXs in that fashion. So you try and shoot double damage Lobbers here when you have the opportunity, just to make this perfect length. Save them all from here, if you can get them. One of them was a nothing, the other one was a roundabout. But yeah, if you nail them all, this final phase is extremely hard. I'm gonna try and get a really good fight just to prove the point, because a 33 is nowhere near the potential this fight has. A great clam and then some. Here goes. There you go, that was pretty fast. You can do that even a little bit faster, but I believe that's pretty good already. Yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Currently the best time is at 28. Okay, that I believe that about covers it for the fight. What I do on this fight specifically, and I do it in a lot of fights where I have to go for the Lobber manipulations on the fly, I'll stop weapon swapping for like a split second. You might have noticed that if you have good eye and you look at the bottom left corner or right in the gamepad viewer. I stop swapping for like a split second, and I just take a look at the weapon I have equipped in the bottom left. So if I have roundabout, I'll do X amount of swaps, and if I have Lobber, I'll do X amount of swaps plus 1, just to perfectly manipulate my weapon, and then I go for the Lobbers. So yeah, usual weapon counting. Next fight. There are plenty of ways to go about Brineybeard. Gonna show a couple of them, but basically, let's see, there's ways to make this fight very consistent, but slow on average. There's risky ways to get really good times, but also have a chance of losing a lot of time due to a bad pattern. There's ways of having a very risky fight, you know, in terms of you have a high chance of dying. There's a weird fight for sure. What I recommend you to learn first if you're just starting out is just don't think, don't parry. So he always opens that fight this way. The barrel is on the right, you can just dash right past it, and then you can do 6 jumps before anything happens. He always pulls out his gun, and then he only has 3 patterns. 3 patterns he can do on this gun. He can either do... He has 2 bullets, pause, 2 bullets. He can do 1 bullet, pause, 3 bullets. He can do 2 bullets, pause, 2 bullets, or he can do 3 bullets, pause, 1 bullet. Basically, he'll always have a pause in between. So basically shoot it in 2 rounds, and he'll shoot 4 bullets total. That's how it works. So you just get the hang of this, make sure you get the hang of this, because it's only 3 patterns. And you just dodge all of the bullets. If he does a fakie, you know you have another one ahead, and then there's where the fight kind of starts taking off into multiple directions. Basically, after this first attack, assuming your damage is optimal and you cleared one of the internal phases, you basically will start getting gun patterns that aren't quite the same. So yeah, you see that this pattern is already different because I had a longer pause. There's only so many patterns you can do, but they take a lot to learn. So if you're just learning, just learn this first phase and these 3 patterns. Use the X's when you have them, and then just try to deal with every other pattern, because he really doesn't have much health, especially with the weapon swap glitch. If you get the shark or the squid summons, you will get a 2 cycle, because you can just go ham on the pirate, and there's nothing stopping you from doing so. If you get the dogfish summon, or if you get another gun, that's where the trouble of it starts. So yeah, as you can see, the problem with this fight is there are a lot of possible patterns, and you're gonna have to learn to deal with all of them. And some of them are better than others. So yeah, 2 cycle because I got the shark. Nice and chill pattern, nothing to worry about. There's an EX there, and that's a bit of a variation. See what the summon is? Another shark, whatever. You guys have seen this. I like to kind of keep some EXs because of the dogfish summon, but that's a bit of a more advanced strat. Okay, gun, just get away because you probably don't know this pattern. Shoot when you have an opportunity, and then as soon as he's done with attack, go right at him. And as you can see, he's already almost done. As soon as I think the trigger for final phase is 262. There's another cycle-based fight like Ribby Croaks. Basically, once you reach a certain health threshold, he gains invisibility, and there's no more damage that you can deal until you start this final phase. So yeah. What have I shown? I've shown gun, I've shown shark. Squid is the same as shark really, because the squid doesn't damage you. The only thing he can do is make the screen darker, which doesn't even last until final phase. Oh, this is a troll gun pattern. It's basically a really quick pattern. If you take a hit, whatever, just take it. It's fine because you probably will have a lot of health, and this is still at 3 cycles, so not too slow. I want to show Dogfish, but I'll show it later because final phase really quick. I'll show you how to finish the fight. This final phase is really consistent. It's always the same. There's no randomness. You want to lead with a roundabout track to the left, and then as soon as the hitbox becomes vulnerable of the body, you just start shooting it. You want to do a jump and an EX move a bit here, right there, to dodge the first fireball. I didn't do it with the right timing, but you can dodge those fireballs like that. You just jump above them, use an EX move to stall a bit in midair, and you should be able to dodge them. And you can get a 1 cycle on that boat without too many issues. Just get the hang of that timing and all should be good. And even if you don't... oh, this is the squid, by the way. Again, just as chill as the shark. Just keep shooting Brineybeard 2 cycles. Should be able to get it. Oh yeah, you can dodge the flames even without using EX. It's just that it makes it easier. That's it. That's how fast you can kill him. Even faster, technically. So I actually used 2 EXs before the first fireball, but if you're not comfortable with it, just focus on the timing of the jump EX move that matters, which is the one over the fireball. You should still be able to get a 1 cycle without having to deal with the laser part, which by the way you can parry. Just getting it out there, because now that a lot of people know that you can parry the laser. You don't have to duck below him. It'll actually show you a way you can deal with a laser too, just in case you really have to deal with it. So get to final phase again. Gun, just get away. He's done. There's your opening, deal damage. Get away. Deal damage. 3 cycle, even if you get 4 cycle, doesn't matter for you. So yeah. As soon as he does the... oh my gosh, I wanted to show the laser, but well, I guess that proves my other point. As soon as you see he's doing the fireball, that's your cue to basically just jump above it and use an EX move. Or if you don't have an EX move available, just do a high jump. It'll do the same. It's just a little less damage efficient. Okay, final phase just for funsies, and then I want to still show the dogfish before I move on to other more advanced threats. So one thing you can do on this barrel, sometimes you'll be ducking under this laser, and you'll have this barrel trying to come down on you. What you might not know is that if you just hold down to duck the entire time, you can move below this laser. And so that's how you can dodge the barrel. Or if you want to deal damage in the meantime, either you can take the laser or you just bury it. And that's how you can deal damage in the meantime. That's the fight. Oh, no. I still want to show Dogfish. So I'll cut until I get Dogfish. Okay, there it is. So this one, if you're not feeling confident, you can just go away. Or if you have good timing, you can jump above them and use an EX to stall a bit. Or, just like on Grim, jump EX, use an extra dash against the wall if you need to stall for a little more time. But yeah, you can jump above those dogfish and not lose damage in the process. Or just go away, focus on taking care of the dogfish. Then once the attack is over, you can resume damage on the pirate. So yeah, that's how you deal with attack at a basic level. Now, advanced threats. Here's the first advanced threat that I recommend looking into. Parries. So that is pretty complicated to try to understand and get down, but Once you know how those 3 patterns on the gun works, the other thing you might wanna know is that there's always 3 bullets that are pink, aka bearable, and there's only 1 that's yellow, so unbearable. Once you know that, so always do this open if you wanna do parries. Do 5 jumps. On the 5th jump, use an EX move to stall in midair on the landing. There. Then on just this jump, you try to parry the first bullet. If it's yellow, too bad. You'll retry. More on that later. But on average, this one should be parryable more often than not. That's the wrong jump. So you should be able to parry this, gain some elevation, and as soon as you parry this, use an EX move towards him, and you try to parry the next bullet. This one is really cool, because if it's a yellow bullet, you try to parry it, and it's not yellow, it's not pink, it's not parryable, so it just so happens that Cuphead's hitbox is barely out of the way of that yellow bullet. So you will be able to dodge it every time. If it's pink, you will be able to parry it, even if Cuphead's hitbox is not quite into that pink bullets area. So yeah, you can dodge the yellow bullet thanks to the way those hitboxes work. And if it's pink, you'll be able to parry it and gain extra elevation. So like this. If it's yellow, just yeah, if you fall on the ground, try to restrike, parry. If you get hit once, it's not the end of the war. For example, the one where it's the most likely you'll get hit. If it's the first one, in which case tough luck. But at least you know all the other ones are gonna be pink, because there's only 1 yellow bullet in the entire thing. So yeah, basically, if you're comfortable with the patterns, you'll know that there's only 1 pause, there's only 1 yellow bullet. That's all you need to know is get these 3 patterns down, how they work, and then try to understand exactly what you want to be doing. Depending on where the yellow bullet is in relation to every single pattern. Why you want to take parries is because basically the way Brineybeard works in his phase, well, in his pirate phases, basically, you have 3 internal phases which changes gun patterns. So this one is always only 3 patterns. Once you're on the 2nd phase, which is right now, his gun patterns, he'll have 3 of them. He'll have a 4 bullets gun, which has 2 pauses in it. No. And then he has 2 patterns with 2 bullets, one of which is really fast and basically has the first bullet instantaneous. Oh, by the way, you can kill the squid to shorten attacks. Okay, this is the 4 bullets gun, so you have this really long pause in between. Here's one of them, but the reason why you wanna do parries is it basically allows you to skip this phase. Mean you can skip the risk of getting a 2 bullet gun. A 2 bullet gun is usually bad because it's a really short attack that, unless you're really optimal with your damage, you cannot get a 2 cycle off of. And so you can basically skip straight to phase 3, which only has 3 guns in it, and it allows you to get good times, 2 cycles. And then the other advantage of taking parries is if you're lucky and optimal, you'll actually want to get the 2 bullet gun, because it's the shortest pattern you can get a 2 cycle with. But this one is really hard and it's really rare. I'm probably not gonna get to show it off. But yeah, you can technically get a 2 cycle with 2 bullet gun, Assuming you don't shoot all over the axes immediately here in phase 1, so you'd want to do it a bit like this. So I'm not shooting the axes yet, I'm not shooting the axes yet, now I'm going. And if I get a 2-bullet gun... Oh, this was phase 3, so I got a 3-bullet gun. But if I got a 2-bullet gun right there, then I would have gone ham on my EX moves, and I would have barely been able to get a 2-cycle with that. And that provides the fastest possible fight. So far, the best time is a 27 seconds fight. So that is the advantage of doing parries. And then if you can basically skip phase 2. You can go straight to phase 3, which only has 3 bullets gun, very consistent. That's another advantage doing parries. The disadvantage is that on average it's slower, because taking parries basically means an extra section on your scoreboard, as well as extra screen lag. Basically, every time you take a parry, there's 1/6 of a second where action in-game is paused, as well as the in-game timer. So that is a bit of a time loss. That's a good way how to deal with Dogfish too. But yeah, that will be the disadvantage of parries. Because for example, if you take parries and you take all those precautions to avoid the 2-bullet gun, and then you end up getting the shark anyway, you gain no advantage. If anything, you just lost time by taking the parries and getting that extra time on the scoreboard, that extra screen lag. So, another advanced technique another advanced strategy, I suppose it's a better way to calling it more than a technique. Parries is a technique, for sure, but this one is a bit more a strategy. Another thing you might want to consider is thinking instead of parrying or dodging. So right here, you just think the bullets. There's two ways I guess you can go about thinking. You can think all the way down to 1 HP. Yes, this is really optimal damage. And this one, most of the times, will make sure that you end up in phase 3, so you only get the 3 bullets gun, and you can get a 2 cycle every time. Problem is, you're down to 1 HP, and you have to deal with a gun pattern which can change. There's two possible gun patterns. The bot itself firing cannonball at a very inconvenient time, and the barrel coming towards you. This is really hard to dodge, and I do not really recommend doing this. This makes for consistent fights when you can survive. That's the best way of putting it. Because basically, if you get a bad pattern, you will not have taken parries, you don't take an extra time loss. And you also basically remove the possibility of getting 2 bullet guns, because most of the times you'll be getting to phase 3. But you also have to deal with a really hard pattern to dodge, and you'll be at 1 HP. So what? Another way of going about this fight, which is what I'm currently most thinking is the way to go, is thinking once. So you think once at the beginning of this, then once you recognize what pattern you got, you just dodge all the other bullets. So here's a better example, hopefully, coming up. Okay. And you just dodge. If you do this properly, you can skip phase 3. You can skip to phase 3 and avoid getting 2 bullets gun decently often. Less often than thinking everything, for sure. But if you're optimal with damage, you can only get the 3 bullets gun, and then you have an HP to take this. No need to worry about doing any tight dodges. And at the very least, getting a two-bullet gun isn't very common anyway. So it's not something you should encounter too much, hopefully. You should be able to get a 2-cycle very often anyway. I believe that's about all for a fight. What you want to do for this fight, you just want to learn the 3 basic gun patterns in phase 1, just at the opening to start with, and then just get comfortable with the summons, get away from the dangerous patterns. And then if you want to learn more about the fight, you want to learn exactly how all the gun patterns work in relation to what phase of the fight you're in. And then once you're there, that's your moment with just where you can basically toy around with more advanced strategies. And then final phase is very straightforward. There's not much you will need to worry about. Maybe that's all I can say really about this fight. It is one of the more complex fights in the game as far as the strategy you wanna employ is. So don't spend too much time on this once you're starting out. But this will be my number one pick to look into if you're looking to get into a bit more of a mid-top tier run, I suppose. Okay, next up. This is the 4th to last boss. The run is almost over at this point. This is the last plain stage in the run. Well, except for a King Dice mini-boss, but that already counts as a plain stage. This is the last actual plain stage where we have to do some actual damaging. Cala Maria, here we go. So when you're first learning this, I recommend playing it kinda safe. Or at least playing safer strats than you'd see up run or two. You can get up close really quickly and do some WSG rotations right off the bat, but so basically she has 2 options at the start of the fight. She can do a summon and basically summon one of her fish helpers, so the sea turtle, the pufferfish, and the seahorse. Or she can attack straight away like she was doing there. She was knitting and exiting ghosts, and she can also go down and pick up fish. So if you get ghosts, I recommend just going back, shooting with the machine gun, and then going back up, back in front. This one, I recommend again playing it safe. When she does all attacks, I recommend playing it safe with machine gun. And then once she does the summon, you just learn how to deal with that. I'll show you how to deal with each single attack and each single summon. So that was the ghosts, and that was the yellowfish with the pufferfish summon. Sea turtle. This one also, I don't blame you for just going here to the left side and being safe from that sea turtle, because it can be quite a bit of a pain if you decide to play it a bit more up close. Yellowfish, this seahorse can be a little bit annoying, but all you have to do really is just go left and right and avoid having to deal with him too much. Phase 1 goes by decently quickly too. As soon as you just take your opportunity to get up close and do these WSG rotations when you have a bit of downtime. Yeah, play it safe, and then when you have an opening, you just get up close and deal damage. Only thing I'm missing, I think, is the redfish. If you take a hit, it's fine. This fight is surprisingly not terribly dangerous, as long as you don't do anything too terribly off script. Okay, just waiting for the redfish and then I can move on to phase 2. Okay, there it is. Not that too not worth it. Again, just stand far away. Oh, be careful of not getting hit by the fish itself, like I did there. And you just dodge those. So 1.0 exclusive her hitbox is bad. Her petrifying gaze is bad and it doesn't hit up close. So you can just stand there and keep WSGing until you get to final phase. Those EOs in phase 2 are usually not that much of a problem. Like usually phaser before they become an issue. And for final phase, I recommend, this is a thing that you'll have to get used to, staying up close right here. I'm gonna stop shooting so to show you what I mean, because usually this green thing is a petrifying gaze, these bubbles are a hitbox, so if you play this fight from far away, you'll have a lot of issues, from having to mesh out of that, dodge everything that she has to throw at you, but nothing works when you're up close. Nothing works, so just do that. Get yourself comfortable with that strategy. So just get in her face, and if you're close enough, neither the petrifying gaze nor the bubbles will have a hitbox close enough to be able to hit you. So that's all you need to do, really. Oh, here you actually have a chance of soft locking. So the cue for you to know is if she moves left towards the left side of the screen a bit, that means at the end of her next attack, she basically will transition to phase 2. You want to take that in mind. You want to keep that in mind because if you clear phase 2 before it's supposed to begin, it's not going to result in a cool glitch like the other boss. It's going to result in a soft lock because her hitbox is not going to be anywhere on screen. Well, there is technically a way out of that soft lock. I'll probably show it later for fun, but know that basically don't use a nuke. Don't go too ham on damage. If you know you're close to facing her, to going to phase 2, because you might actually clear the entirety of phase 2 before it even is supposed to start, because it doesn't have that much health. So yeah, bubbles and gaze are not a problem. The thing you want to watch out for are these spiky balls, and the way you deal with them is you watch the very right side of the screen, and you can barely see where those spiky balls are coming from. So they're on the middle. You just want to be in your toes. You can do this a bit too to get used to it. Just don't shoot. You can even shrink to improve your speed or whatever. You basically try to react to it. Try to watch for them and get used to just watching where they're coming from and just moving accordingly. But yeah, just do this a bunch of times and you should be able to finish the fight. Use a nuke when you have it. Unless again you're good at Luigi swapping, in which case you're not gonna be using nukes for the fight at all, and you're gonna just be doing Luigi swaps for the entire fight. Gonna go over some advanced threats first that use the nuke, because not everyone is actually good at Luigi swapping. And then I'm gonna go over the actual optimal strats using Luigi swaps. So once you're more comfortable with the fight, you can actually think a bit in phase 1. So when she does a summon first, that's good. Ghosts, you want to take them in a pretty specific way. You want to tank the first hit, and then the second ghost you want to hit, you want to tank them as they're coming back towards Cala Maria. So basically, you will be able to tank the entirety of ghosts just by using 2 HP. And phase 1 should be done basically right after. Redfish is good. Redfish is good because it basically allows you to get the redfish, do the summon, use the nuke right now, and boom, you're already to phase 2. No need to worry about the softlock. And I'll show you how quick phase 2 goes by. Heal's not even on screen, not a problem. What else? What else? There's some bad battles. There's when she goes down and gets a yellowfish. There it is. This one you want to be careful for the Softlock. I don't think it. I think the ghost's a bit a thing. It's been a while ever since I've used these strats, but basically, if you go all the way in on damage, you can actually Softlock. Yeah, that was 150 HP off, a little more. But I got hit right after activating a nuke, so that's about it's like a couple seconds I lost of DPS. Because again, you can think that way. Some summons make it harder. The sea turtle in particular, I think, is the hardest to deal with, especially with ghosts. But yeah, phase 2 and 3, there's not much optimization you can do. I believe you get a nuke at the end of this, which you can use. Oh no, this is not even worth using. Okay, never mind then. So, yeah. If you get a yellowfish, you don't wanna go all in damage. You don't wanna tank the yellowfish because you wanna tank ghosts. But again, don't go all in on damage, or you will softlock. I'll show you what the softlock looks like too, and how you can actually break the softlock in a very slow way. Then I'll show you what happens when you get when she leads with ghosts. There you go. That one, you just fall back on these strats, because if you decide to take them and somehow not die to the next attack, you will definitely softlock. So yeah, that was a bit closer to the softlock than last time. And if you just stayed up close and doubt this G, you definitely would have softlocked there. So if you get ghosts first, just back off, use the machine gun, and then you go back to using the WSG. That's about how you want to deal with that. But yeah, phase 2 and 3 again, you just deal with them the same way you would with any other pattern, because these ones are always consistent. Well, technically the spiky balls are in random positions, but they don't really affect your time usually. And this nuke usually isn't worth using. So that's about it really for the nuke strats. There are some bad patterns that you will lose time on. And you just need to learn what's good, what's bad, what I can think, what I can't. And that's all there is about the fight, really. It's not much, very complex. With Luigi swaps, if you're good at Luigi swaps, all patterns are about equally as good, with like a variance of 1 second. If she like goes down and picks up a fish that doesn't spot a hitbox. But yeah, what I do is basically you don't nukes in the entire fight anyway. So when she goes down, when she disappears, I actually use a Planiacs to basically have it prepared to hit her once she comes back on screen. And goes first. Ah, I already missed it. This is very tight, but you can get a ghost lead, then she does the summon, and you can barely just cut phase 1 short right there, right after the summon. It basically needs to be perfect. Basically consume all the super cards you get. Luigi swap them all. Same thing on the yellowfish. Just you get a yellowfish, you get a summon, then you cut phase 1 right there short. But yeah, basically the only difference is use Luigi swaps instead of nukes. and you consume the cards when you have them. And there you go, that's how you can cut it short. Other Planiacs right there. I only go on with WSG here because you can get more damage if you, due to some of the same reasons as you get extra damage off on Goopy Le Grande. There's some hitbox teleporting when phase 3 starts, so if you finish off phase 2 with a mini bomb, splash damage from that will actually do extra damage, hit an extra time once the final phase starts. And then I go all in with my Luigi swaps in final phase. Yeah, I'll try and see if I can show the 2 cycle with ghosts. Here it is. So yeah, that one basically requires a near perfect way again, but it's also the fastest pattern technically, or one of the fastest, because she never goes down to pick up a fish, so she's always on screen available to be hit. And yeah. Last thing I want to show of the fight, yeah, you basically the difference of using Luigi swaps is you can get you can basically turn some phase 1 patterns into good patterns, which would otherwise be bad for the nuke, and then you just keep using Luigi swaps until the end of the fight. I think I always kept saving cards on the final phase, but you wanna use all the cards you have at some point. What I want to show off now is the Softlock, because I haven't actually shown it. There. Yeah, this should get it. There you go. If you hear a scream like that, that means you got the Softlock. So yeah, she's not on screen. I cannot hit her. And yeah, well, for the longest time we thought you couldn't finish the fight, and you basically had to retry. But somebody found that if you basically the C is no longer a hitbox, you can go here at the bottom, and this only works if you got the Softlock. If you got the Softlock and you're on this glitched phase. So you go here against the left wall and you shoot bombs. Sometimes some bombs will go through. Was it not against the left wall? But yeah, sometimes the bombs will actually go through. There you go. Will actually go through the seafloor, so it's right there. Right there in this position, not against the left wall. Whoops. But yeah, sometimes some bombs will actually go through and hit an off-screen hitbox. Actually, what that off-screen hitbox looks like is this one. It's supposed to be final phase, which never actually left the bottom of the screen because I never actually triggered phase 3 properly, so I can hit it from right there. And that's how you actually can finish the fight. It is faster to just restart the fight if you get the Softlock, but it just means this isn't technically a Softlock. You can actually get the knockdown in a pretty safe way too. And yeah, that's all really I have to show about Cala Maria. It's really just as hard as you want to make it. If there's a few attacks that recommend just learning them in a safe way, so just going to the left side and using the machine gun. Basically every single attack she does herself while you have an opening. You can get close and use WSG as much as you want. And then if you're looking to be advanced, then you gotta learn which attacks you can handle just by dodging and still keeping optimal DPS, and which ones you actually want to think, which patterns you want to still play it unoptimally anyway in order to avoid the softlock. And if you're good at Luigi swaps, then none of that applies and you just want to tank everything if you can. That's all. Last fight of Battle 3, Phantom Express. This is one of my favorite fights in the entire run. Mostly RNG free, and the way this fight works is it's made in 4 separate phases that are all like unique within each other, and they don't interlace between each other. So basically, all the damage you do to one phase does not over damage, does not set up anything for the next one. It's just segmented, really. And I find it really fun. So if you're just learning the fight, I recommend just staying here and just shooting the ghosts, the ghost with shooting him down, taking care of the eyes. Phase 2, you want to prepare a vertical trap, try and get rid of the skeleton. Get that one cycle if you can. I got it right there. You're not gonna get it every single time. I'll show you what happens if you don't get it. But yeah, you just shoot this ghost down, whatever. Take these pumpkins. These pumpkins are a source of RNG, which you can cover most of it. You know, keep that in mind. They come from either side. I said I will show what happens when you get a 2 cycle. Promise I'm actually gonna remember this. So yeah, the only random part about this pumpkins really is the side they start coming from, because they alternate right to left to right to left, but at the start of the fight they can either come from the right or from the left. But yeah, if you're not very optimal in damage, you won't get a 1 cycle, and so at this point he cannot show up on the same position every time, so it'll be either on the right or on the left. So in this case it's on the right, I'll shoot it down. Otherwise, if he was on the left, I'd go here and shoot him down from here, like diagonally. So that's how you would deal with him. I actually try and show what happens if it's on the complete opposite side of where you are. Oh yeah, move the card forward. That's an advanced threat. I'm sorry. You don't want to do that if you're just starting out. So yeah, you don't get the 1 cycle. Very close though. Whoops. So just deal with it like this. You take him down diagonally. Should he access to keeping under your line of fire better. That's it. Oh. Go back. Shoot any X if you want to in phase 1, it doesn't really matter too much. Phase 3 is the trickiest, for sure. The way I recommend starting out for this one is to just move the card to one side, kill one of these, and then just moving on to the next one. As soon as it attacks, you just move it to the very opposite side. Try to finish it off there, otherwise you kill it on the way back. And that's how you kill them. What twin exactly decides to attack is random. It's not consistent, but you can play on reaction. It's not that big of a deal. Final phase, you can set up trap like this, parry the tail, and then you just kind of try to follow this engine around. There's a bit of a tricky part that takes a bit of getting used to, but it's not that bad. And you can get that 1 cycle even without too much practice. That's the entire fight, really. I'll show you final phase maybe one more time. I'll show you the entire fight one more time, maybe. Why not? But especially final phase, I suppose. Probably wasn't a really good example. So yeah, phase 1 I'd recommend actually standing here without moving the card and just taking it down. He doesn't take that much time to be taken care of. So he usually not become a threat. So yeah, prepare a vertical trap for this guy. Keep jumping just to get a better trap. You won't always get this one cycle if your damage is optimal. But yeah, move the card to one side. Kill one of these. And then just move the card to the other side. Kill the other one. Move the card to the opposite side too, just to dodge the twins' attack. And then you just go through final phase. Which you deal with by staying on top of this wall, maybe a little bit forward. You shoot roundabouts right there to the bottom. Then if you have health or you're feeling confident, you can do that EX in midair like I did right after parrying the tail. It's quite a bit faster actually. But yeah, that's the fight overall. And then optimal strats. So phase 1 you actually want to bring the card forward, and that is because it acts like a floor, and you know what that means. Lobber. Double damage Lobber X. As my optimization, I take the parry with damage boost because it allows me to get a slightly better damage threat for this skeleton. This one cycle is very consistent once you're comfortable with the weapon swap glitch and you get optimal damage. Phase 3 is where there's the most divergence because you don't want to actually move the card optimally because parrying the wheels will create extra screen lag. That 1/6 of a second pause that occurs every time you parry something. So, and also the advantage of keeping the card in the middle like this. One, you can still create like your optimal trap like here by just standing at the very edge of the card and it will basically hit the goal just fine. The other advantage is you can basically switch from one twin to the other faster. So there is the strat. I have a visual cue for when I start jumping to create the trap. Basically I wait till the second pipe here of the train appears on screen and then I start jumping to create the trap. So now I use an EX on landing, use 2 EXs total, and then just switch off to the second goal. So that goal was on the verge of death. Then what that does is I can switch off to the other goal and just hit the goal to the right with just roundabout shots here and there while I'm landing from jumpy Xing the goal on the left. That probably doesn't make much sense, but with a lot of examples it probably will. It's basically just a bit of a more optimal way of going about it than just killing one and then just killing the other. And also it's better because if you just kill one of the goals, I'll show it again. And I should kill them now. If you kill one of the goals, basically it will automatically mean that the goal on the left basically will start attacking because there's no more goals on screen, so he's the one attacking now. While if you leave one alive and he happens to be the one that decides to attack you, and then the other one will not attack you, it'll end up being more favorable because the hitbox is better to hit. So I'll actually kill him now. Like that. So now I should attack. There we go. So it's a bit more awkward because it's not very close to the card. It's not very far. It's a bit far up to hit. So it's a bit more uncomfortable. Final phase. Yeah, not much. Just be a bit better at tracking this part. That's all I can say if you want to improve your final phase. And yeah, go for the EX after the pair in the tail every time. But yeah, really fun fight. A really fun fight. I recommend grinding this one quite a bit because it's relatively RNG free. And it's just segmented like this. So even if you do a mistake on one phase, it will usually not carry over to the next one. So yeah, phase 1 and 2. These ones are a bit more interconnected because of the pumpkins which run on this global timer. But as soon as this phase is done, the pumpkins stop spawning. So yeah, don't actually kill this guy. Whoops, it was a bit late here. Okay, never mind. So yeah, here we go. Something like that. And I actually like to do this trap really close to the edge of the card. Like this. I like to also manipulate a Lobber EX right after the Parry on tail. But yeah, this is one of my favorite fights. It's all really high skill ceiling too, so really fun, really fun. And that's also it for IO3. That was the final fight. The only thing left is, I think we'll have the casino. So there he goes. These are the last two fights in the game. And the first one is gonna be King Dice. Long fight. Yeah, the longest fight in the game. So, there's only there's a couple of rights. I'll go over probably a beginner route first because there's a trick you might want to skip. Just learning. And so you're gonna parry this. The route you want to follow is number 2, number 4, and number 8. So you go from the start, parry this die, get a 2. Yeah. So take your time if you need to. Just make sure you get the right number. Actually, do recommend getting comfortable with all the mini bosses here if you have to. If you have to fight them. But definitely get more comfortable with the ones you actually have to fight. Okay, let me go more slowly and actually explain what's going on there. So, go number 2. The number King Dice spawns as soon as he claps, as soon as the dice spawns, is always a 1. The randomness comes from the side the dice spins in. So it can go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, or it can go 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2. But it always starts with 1. If you parry as soon as the die spawns, it'll always be a 1. Anyway, poker chips. This one is the fastest fight out of the first 3 because it has the least health, and there's a really neat setup that allows you to do optimal damage very easily. Just start the fight, do not touch the D-pad. Just dash twice, and then aim up and shoot. There you go, hit him with bullets. That's all you need to do. Then I suggest this, playing this kind of safe. As soon as he moves up and starts to attack, so you have like half a half bar left at that point, if not less. But yeah, just play patient. Just wait till you have this opportunity where he doesn't really do anything else anymore, and just kill him. The trick doesn't work on the left, where you can just aim up and shoot, so you actually have to jump and hit him with the bullets on the way up. Next boss is number 4, so you roll a 3 from here. Sometimes you get extra hearts, which is nice. Makes the fight safer. So this one is a little bit tough. Tough because you are trying to shoot him, so he usually be either like straight right or diagonally right. And then you also be mashing weapon swap, and lock at the same time. So you're gonna be mashing the lock button for this fight. So the way you wanna move on, I'll stop shooting. The way you wanna move and keep being on his line of fire here, or keep him on your line of fire, is to basically mash lock in a rhythm like this kind of. Basically the faster you're mashing lock, the further away you're gonna be going, while the slower you're doing it, the closer you'll be to him. So yeah, it's just something to get the hang of. You're basically gonna be using the weapon swap glitch to clear him. You can use the X's to clear 2 spike gaps like this. Just jump and use an X move to stall in the air. Really good technique overall through the game, and this is just another. But yeah, that's how the fight usually goes. And then the next set of 3, this is where I'd recommend beginners to take a slightly different route. We're gonna be fighting the 8-ball, number 8. So just roll at 2. Roll at 2 and fight this guy. This mini boss is a piece of cake. Stand below him, dodge this shot. Stand below him for most cubes except this yellow one. This yellow one will hit you, so make sure you can dodge him. But otherwise, if it's a green cube or a blue cube, you can stand right below the 8-ball and they will not hit you. So yeah, easy fight. And then you go on to fight King Dice. So roll at 2 to get into the safe spot. And then what you can do is you can either roll a 2 or a 3 to get to the end. So you can play it safe if you're not comfortable, but with the knowledge that the first number he spawns is a 1, and then the only thing that changes is the rotation. That basically means that the second number is always gonna be either a 3 or a 2, and the third number is always gonna be a 2 or a 3. So get the hang of this thing. Just as soon as he claps, that's when he spawns the die, and just wait a split second after he claps and then parry. So like this. Quick roll. It'll always get you to the end. Small time save. But yeah, take the parries if you have 1 HP especially. Don't wanna die right here. Then you just finish him off. You can do it in 1 cycle. And yeah, that's King Dice. Not much else I can say about beginner strats. This fight isn't too hard, really. I guess the trickiest part is really just domino and final phases if you're not terribly good at parrying, but it's not hard to get used to it. That's the bottom line. All right, for the experts. Number 2, the more hearts the better. You want at least 1 because that means you can take 3 HP of damage in the fight, which means you can get 0 out of 3 HP bonus on the result screen. So that's a 0.8 time save, the same way skipping parries is a time save, because it just skips the section. But it's also good because it means taking extra damage boosts, and you want to take... if you have at least 1 heart, let's say the optimal thing is taking 2 damage boosts on poker chip just to get a really fast kill. But it's also not the safest. If you want some safety, for domino especially, then make sure you have at least 3 HP for domino, so that you can take 1 hit if needed. You want to keep 2 HP for King Dice himself at all costs. Also, the speed at which you parry this die doesn't matter up until a certain point, because King Dice has to go through an animation anyway, where he like bobs his head back and forth 1 time. So if you parry the die immediately, it doesn't make a difference compared to parrying the die like 1 second later. So just take your time, even in advanced strats. Take some time. You can lose time in very specific circumstances. So there's some situations where you can do some fast rolls and explain them later. But in the meantime, Domino. This is my favorite opening. You just dash, and right before you dash, I don't think I got it, but you shoot a lobber shot diagonally right, and it'll hit Domino, and then you dash and you go below him, and then you just do the fight like this. You clear this gap, you clear this gap. It should be that right here. If you did the fight optimally. But yeah, usually 2 HP. I'll actually retry the fight just to be at 2 HP because I want to show you the importance of keeping 2 HP to King Dice, as well as showing you quick fast rolls. Want to get at least 1 HP. There we go. On number 2. Okay, so what you can do is on the die, if you, for example, have to roll a 2, watch what the first number is on the die when King Dice covers it. Because if you have to roll a 2, and as soon as King Dice opens his hands, the first number is a 3, just parry right away. You have enough time to react to it. So I'll try, if I get a 2, because I have to roll a 3. Yeah, there you go. You can do this fast roll. Usually it doesn't save time, but if you have to roll a 3 and there's a heart on the place you have to land on, that just so happens to play an extra animation that wastes enough time to where if you don't do a fast roll, or rather if you get the fast roll opportunity and you don't take the fast roll opportunity, the extra time that it takes for the die to spin around one more time and you to parry and do the 3, it will basically take long enough to waste a bit of extra time for King Dice to do an extra animation, basically. This animation where it just looks at you. So, expert path will be going to number 9. Monkey. This fight is usually the longest in the entire board, but there's a 1.0 exclusive glitch where you can just skip this entire fight. And it involves clipping him out of bounds. So you want to look at a mismatch. So you look at the memory set initially, and you look at 2 cards that don't match on the left side of the screen. So in this case, I can take this one on the middle and one on top, and then you want to parry the card in such a way that when the monkey stops, it'll just have to perform the bonk on the left side of the screen, like a few frames after he stops. That will basically guarantee that he just clips out. That should be good. There you go. That's the insta-kill. It's called Monkey Skip. Again, not very original with names. This one takes a lot of getting used to it. Practice it a lot if you intend on going Monkey Skip. This route saves a lot of time, I believe around 10 seconds over going for the 8-ball, but yeah, because not only it's a faster fight at the 8-ball, you also save a dice roll on King Dice. So the bad part about the monkey fight is that you're gonna get like different cards that don't match between each other sometimes. The monk itself especially will have different angles and speeds. So you just have to get used to it. The visual key I use is I just look at the monkey's butt, and I just have in mind an idea of a pattern of an average angle and velocity, where like pairing the card at this specific visual cube works, and then if it's faster or slower, I'll parry earlier or later. If that makes any sense. It's just a fight that you have to do a lot to get used to the proper visual cues. So, King Dice himself, final fight. This is a fight where doing a fast roll will always save time. This is a roll, yeah, where the fast roll will always save time. If you get a if you see a 2, immediately parry. You'll roll a 3, and it will basically make King Dash's hitbox vulnerable faster. And if you have 2 HP, you can skip parries. It's safer with 3, but you can do it with 2. And you should only get 1 cycle of cards. And of course, like, skip me parries, like all fights, will result in a time save on the result screen. There we go. It's fast roll. There we go. This is how it looks like. There. That is tough. That is tough. I recommend, if you can do save 3 HP, but it is worth like taking an extra damage boost on the poker chips. It is faster than just the extra safety on King Dice. So that is what I do. I just save 2 HP for King Dice at most, unless I really have an overload of hearts. But yeah. If you intend on doing the 2 HP skip on the final set of cards, do practice it a lot because it is kind of tight with high frames. Final fight in the run. This one isn't hard. Not much, at least. So, of course you say no because you're trying to get a good ending. And then, phase 1, this one has a lot of different patterns. So you just have to learn how to deal with all of them. This one, if you want to play it safe, just go to one side and parry if you can, if you have the opportunity. Spider. Spider, you just wait till it comes down and you just basically, that's your opportunity to hit it. A pretty long Spider then. You can use the axes on landing. It's a pretty good way of dealing extra damage on the double. There's a hidden hitbox here to the left. I'll again zoom out just to show it. It's actually the snake. So yeah, you can hit roundabouts on it, and then you just go down into the hole. There's a... I already tried to fight and show it, but there's a pause buffer for phase 2. I'll probably wind up showing phase 1 actually more, because I only got a handful of the patterns you can do. We already seen that one. So this one you can duck. You can duck the clap, or if you're feeling a little more confident, you can jump above it and use an EX to stall in midair, like that. This one pretty easy, pretty telegraphed. And again, you can just go to the left and shoot it with roundabouts. This one is pretty good, so you just shoot it. I recommend actually going below it, yeah, instead of going to the edge of the screen, because it's actually a bit of a glitch hitbox. Nice, then I got it again. So you go below this arc, and then right before it retracts, you duck to dodge it. Not much else going on otherwise. I believe there's one more staff pattern I need to show, and then I can move on to phase 2. It's probably the hardest staff pattern to deal with. It's called Pinwheel. Oh yeah, that's another way you can dodge that. You can do a jump, and if you don't feel confident you have a card... Okay, there's Pinwheel. If you don't feel confident you have a card, you just dash away. So this one, the best way to go about this pattern, you just parry the flame in the center right away. And then you just kind of stay in the center like this. Try to... That was a really bad example. But you should be able to do it damageless with enough practice. But yeah, this is what I mean by the hitbox being glitched. Because when it retracts, it basically spawns a hitbox right there. Let's see if this Pinwheel... Yeah, there you go. So just parry it right away. You just skip yourself towards the center. just jump when needed. I took another hit there, but it really isn't too big of a deal, even if you take a hit, because the rest of the fight isn't too bad. So for phase 2, there's a precise timing you can... this is pretty easy, so I'm gonna show it here in the beginner strats. So while you're going down this hole, hold up and right. Hold up and right, and then at the precise time you do a pause buffer like this. And while you're doing this, you also use an EX move and you mesh weapon swap. What this will do is it basically allows you to move during the cutscene earlier than intended. And yeah, as long as you hold up and right, you pause at the right time and use the X move right after. Basically, there's nothing to worry about. And then just jump as soon as you reach the middle platform. Oh, that was too early. Or if you don't feel confident again, just don't do the pause buffer like that and wait till you can move again. So yeah, like this, and then you jump. You basically stop moving before you fall off of this platform. And also show you like what it looks like without doing this pause buffer, just for completeness. Okay. Should hit hitbox as usual. And then just don't loop the pause buffer. Is when you regain control right now. And you can go on with the rest of the fight. The timing of the pause buffer, the visual cue I'd use is there's some purple stalactites on the screen while you're going down. Basically, wait for them to go off screen, and then I do the pause buffer. Oh wow, an extra attack. I actually need to be careful. This is another fight you can softlock. I'll show you the softlock. So yeah, right there I got it because he screamed. That's how you know. And then once you go down this hole, phase 2 will not actually start. Cool, Final Fight of the run. Imagine you're on pace, and then you just do that. You softlock the final fight. Or some people didn't need to imagine it; they just had it happen. All right. So I'll point out these stalactites. So right there, they're already on screen. It's this part that right now is like between the middle and the top. As soon as this ones go off screen, that's where you know you've gotten the pause buffer. And you can do the DX move to regain control. Basically, start shooting earlier. Phase 2, the rest of the fight really is pretty straightforward. Phase 1 is probably the one that requires the most time getting used to it, because there's a bunch of different patterns that are all different, and it just requires a bit of sitting down and figuring out what the best way to go about them is. Oh, I actually got nothing there. Okay, so phase 3, just shoot it. Just aim up and shoot. And that's it. Final phase, boom. You just cleared the entire game. Sometimes you'll have to watch out for falling poker chips. All you have to do really is just move to separate platforms. But other than that, all you have to do in phase 2, 3, and 4 is just aim up and shoot. And if there's a threat, you just move to an adjacent platform. But yeah, that's about it for the beginner's threats, and the only thing left is advanced threats. So if you want to really optimize the devil, this is another really hard fight to optimize. So in phase 1, it really depends a lot on your luck, because there's one elusive pattern in phase 1 that you will want a lot, and that is the dragon, or Disney, whatever you want to call it, because that hitbox is glitched, like Werner, and it'll allow you to do quadruple or sometimes quintuple damage. So yeah, just getting that pattern will save seconds. Yeah, manipulate the Lobber there, you'll get a 1 cycle. Easily. Shoot the hidden hitbox. Sometimes when you shoot the hidden hitbox, some roundabout shots miss, and that depends if the devil is done. If he's done the dragon attack and it comes from the right specifically, that basically just glitches up the hitbox on the left and makes it so that some roundabout shots will miss. So yeah, once you get that Geo buffer, that's the name of that pause buffer, go through phase 2. With this pattern, phase 2 will actually be decently long, but not much of a threat. And then you want to go for double damage lobbers on the eyes. Believe it or not, it's not a glitch much. It's the fact that when you hit one of the eyes in a specific way, the splash damage from that lobber will reach the other eye, and it will deal double damage. I personally cannot control these lobbers because I find it really hard to count my weapon swaps while I'm jumping specifically. So this ones I just do it blind. I just do it in a way to where if I get lobbers, cool. If I get roundabouts, whatever. So I just go for them like this. So I have to dodge poker chip. So that's how you can get double damage lobbers, and it can speed it up a bit. You can also get double damage lobbers here on final phase, like that. And then you just finish off the fight. So yeah, you want to basically be shooting right below the eyes towards the middle to have a chance at the double damage lobbers. Other than the bash pattern in phase 1, really, what you want to know is how to deal optimally with every single pattern. It really is just about improving your aim, being able to manage every single pattern without ever leaving the center, really, if you can. Spider is just bad. Spider is pretty infamous because it just basically goes off screen and sometimes doesn't land on your shots, and it can waste upwards to 10 seconds. It's a pretty major time sink. But yeah, I'm looking for Pinwheel. Actually, I'm looking for a better example of Pinwheel. And then I'm looking for a specific staff pattern. And then that's gonna be it for the devil and the tutorial. Oh, I missed the parry. But yeah, that's how you can do it. If you're like about to land on a flame, then what you can use an EX move to stall in midair a bit longer. That's how you can go. How you can get around that. Okay, good. So this one, you can do this pattern without mostly leaving the center. It's kind of hard if there's a flame right below you, which is what exactly I got. Because the position of those flames is also mostly random. There's the only consistent thing is that there's six of them, and they form a ring. You can get a 1 cycle with that specific staff pattern, which is really good because it basically avoids getting a chance of getting the spider. Okay, there it is. So yeah, you can keep yourself mostly in the center all the time, and you can use the X moves to stall your descent in smart ways, basically to just lure those flames, like to go high while you land on the ground and safely dodge them below. So actually, I lied, one more thing I want to show about the devil, and then I can wrap this up. So, oh, I cannot show it with this. To pull back a bit of damage. That should do it. Oh yes, this will be perfect for showing it. So, now I'm really close to the Softlock. I'm gonna get a bit more damage in. Like that. And if you clear phase 2 during the time period where you're not supposed to move but you can because of the pause buffer, this is what happens. A cool little thing. It will basically lock the screen's position immediately. The music will not play, the background is gonna be dark, and yeah, it's a really cool way to end the run. Too bad very few PBs actually do end the run this way because it requires a very specific pattern. And it's actually even optimal, really, because that means you have an easier time hitting the double damages on both the eyes in phase 3 and the eyes in phase 4. Yeah, that concludes it. That concludes the tutorial. It's been long. It's been long. It's a lot to take in, but I tried to cover both beginner strats as well as the advanced strats, the most optimal ways currently to go through the game. So yeah, I hope there's enough info for everyone. I hope I didn't bore anyone out of this game. It's a really cool run. I really recommend checking a few fights, especially like Beppi The Clown or the Phantom Express, before learning some of the more annoying bosses, like maybe Ribby and Croaks or Rumor Honeybottoms, just to get you an idea of what the good, fun part of the game is. And yeah, that's it. Hope this helped. Hope I got the info out there and somebody picks it up. Take care and have a good one. Have a fun time learning.